Ducks don't get cold feet, number 20.
Whoa.
And there's something about 20, but we are here with Amber, and Amber is our first gamer on the whole podcast. How does that make you feel?
It's first for everything. First for everything.
Well, that's what I keep saying. Life's about first, and if you're lucky enough, you get to experience a lot of them. First gamer, first female gamer.
True.
And a local South Australian. So you are a gamer for a career. Now,
Yes.
some people really find that hard to deal with.
I was going to say, some people argue that it's not even a career, so...
Well, do you earn money?
Yes.
It's a career.
Yes.
So here we are with a gamer on board. And first of all, now people might want to know my gaming history. Started a long time, way back. I was a Commodore 64, Amiga 500. I remember getting a Game Boy back there in the early 90s. 1989, the Game Boy came out and I was hooked pretty much. Had Kung Fu, Double Dragon, to name a few. Then it sort of ventured onto a few things, Master System. Then Nintendo bought out Nintendo 64. Yeah, so they bought out Nintendo, and they had the first shoot 'em point, which was GoldenEye.
Yes. Split screen, 007.
So many good memories. I got one of my best mates listens to most of the podcast, Benny Shaw, and this was something that we lived up. Like, actually, I would go to his house at night. Parents wouldn't know. We would play all night. Parents would come in the morning and I'd hide in the side of the bed so they wouldn't see us. And then in the morning, we'd scoot down to the train station to get to work. I wonder if my parents wondered where the hell I was. Now I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, how did nobody ever notice?
No, never.
Were you quiet though as a kid? Yeah.
Quiet. And I had to be because I was like an illegal immigrant now. I was fucking quiet. I was keeping it all hush-hush, like no one wanted to know anything that was going on.
Hiding under the bed is definitely...
No, we're definitely hiding on the side of the bed. And can we just flip into one story there? I was actually in the shower one morning and Ben's dad's like, "Is that your shower going?" And Ben's like, yeah, sorry. I got to go turn it off. Runs in, goes, "Do get out of the shower." I had to get out of the shower. Anyway, that's a long wait, but that's how I started playing. That was a pretty iconic game, and that to me started things. And I thought I'd have a look about, hey, there's a chance to have a podcast with Amber. And I was like, oh, Amber, and I looked it up and Twitch. So I actually had a Twitch account, believe it or not. And I not for anything other than to see what people doing on Twitch, right?
Yep.
Yeah, lurker, I'll take that. And I thought I'd better get into it. And I was studying pretty hard and I noticed that the Nintendo Switch was out. Mm-hmm. I was like, this looks good. And I was like, can't be better than the Game Boy, right? So I went, all right. So I went round. It was Christmas. It was Christmas Day. It was Boxing Day. And I was playing. My sister's son had one and then he had the Mario Kart. And I said, set it up. And he's like, oh, no. I was like, mate, set it up. Like, come on. Like, I was a bit edgy. Started playing it and I was like, holy fuck. This is fucking cool.
It's so good, right?
I was like, oh, we're driving this around. There's dogs in the way. He's in the bedroom and you can see stuff and blew my mind away.
It's come a long way from being glued to the TV with the controller and not being able to move.
Trying to play that.
Oh, gosh, in the dark? That's not the illuminated screen, is it, either? So it's like...
I don't want to get you started when I had the magnifying glass with the lights.
I had one of those. Look, I grew up with a Game Boy and a Nintendo 64. I am very cultured in the game sphere
You
of
strike
things.
me as far too young to be brought up
That's
with
a bit ageist of you.
Yeah, I can be ageist. That's okay. I'm old. I've come to the conclusion the older get, the more ageist you can get, right?
Yeah, well.
It's like wine.
You get a free pass.
Free pass. And then when you get to like my dad's age, you actually get a full free pass. You can literally say what you want.
That's so true, actually. You hear some old people say some questionable things, and you're like, yeah, all right, I'll let you have it. It is what it is.
So I've got to start into... So your Twitch streamer name is?
Paladin Amber.
Paladin Amber, right? Which is really interesting because if I'm searching Amber, I'm trying to think what your last name is and your last name is none of that. So I'm like, how did you come up with that?
Well, do you know what a paladin is?
No idea.
Okay. Okay. So my favourite... I guess games are separated into categories, right?
Yep.
I've always been a fan of first-person shooters. So, like,
Yep.
007 would be a first-person shooter, technically. Not like the
Doom?
same way. Doom would be it would be an FPS, but it would also be an RPG, like a role-playing game, because you're technically playing a character going along a story.
Yep.
So the first ever game that kind of really got me into hardcore gaming was Fallout. Did you ever?
Yep.
So
Fallout played.
Brotherhood of Steel.
Yep.
They're called Paladins, so I just kind of ran with that.
Okay.
Paladin Amber. So
Okay, well, that's
looking
pretty
back
cool.
now, I don't know if I would again, but
Yeah, I know, and you can't. Can you just switch your Twitch name, or do you lose?
it's like imagine if you changed Drake's just all of a sudden to Rakes. Everyone would be like, "Oh,
Done it a few times.
Yeah.
Like it was like Drake, and then we noticed that Coles, Woolworths, they all had S's on the end. So someone goes, "Oh, Drake's." So then we went to Drake's, and I think the long term play will be just a D with a dot. When people have enough brand recognition, they understand that D is Drake's. So we've got a long term plan.
have you thought about that though? Have you thought that
like
through?
10, 20 generational. So if it's not me, it's someone else that's
Somebody
gonna
would. Do you want to purchase the D? I don't know if it's like
Yeah, well, so we just we're really copying things from overseas, and it looked really good at the time. So that brings us to how you got into things. I think you've also been known as, is it Tiny or Meme Queen?
tiny meme queen.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
pretty lippy for somebody that can fit in a suitcase.
yeah, like you seem to pack a punch actually. Like,
I got called a fiery little one by a police officer yesterday, so that was fun.
well, it'd be okay if it was from a fireman.
No, I don't know about that. Fiery little one.
So Meme Queen. So Ollie here, who's our beloved editor here, he
Trying not to laugh in the background.
he has termed himself as the meme king.
Oh, Ollie.
Meme Lord.
Meme Lord. Meme Lord.
Ooh.
And we've been, how long have you been working with us for, Ollie?
Year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half, right? Almost 2 years. And we're still waiting to see one.
Ooh.
Like, I'm just putting it out there. Are you a meme queen because of what you actually say or what you actually put out in a piece of content?
I think if you don't let your memes be dreams, you eventually become just a meme, So,
Hang on. Let's think about that.
yeah.
Don't let your meme become a dream. So I recently, let's talk about this, because I recently got a meme sent to us, and it's apparent that what happened with this meme. And when you say don't let it become a dream.
Wait, did you get memed personally?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah. But here, so this meme here is can you see that? Ollie, can you get that?
I'll have to put it back.
Yeah, so there you go.
I have so many things that I want to unpack about this, because at first I thought you were on a horse and now I've realised it's a camel. You've also got what I think is a tie around your head, but you're wearing a tie as well. And then when your Bitcoin does well and you start buying unnecessary shit, like, how did this happen?
It's real. So if anyone that can't see
It
this,
was a horse.
if anyone can't see this, I'm on a camel with my tie on the back of the
Oh my
head, and
gosh.
someone sent in a meme when your Bitcoin does well and you start buying unnecessary shit. Pretty funny meme.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Yeah, I think it's really good, and that's the sort of stuff we expect to see out of Ollie, but we haven't yet seen it. So
I'm disappointed. You call yourself a meme lord and that wasn't you? Like,
The memes that I make can't go on you.
So there is a age discrepancy between young Ollie, fresh out of school, probably at uni, and me. But I think I'm young for my age. So let's, because age is just a number. But when I talk about things with Ollie, and I do notice, and I reckon I try to talk to all of our people on any level, whether they're 16, first time job, or they're 70 and on their way out. It's for me, it's about just trying to become as close as you can to them about getting a story out of whatever they're trying to tell. And Ollie brings to the plate a whole lot of different things I'd never even thought of. And I don't know if it was me, but some of them just aren't funny. And I'm really trying to laugh at it. And he sends the strangest stuff. And bear in mind, this is a guy that's had a couple of cherry popper ciders and gone to hospital for stitches, right, after one of our meetings. So that didn't go down too well with the company, and glad he kept it quiet. So hopefully no one looks into this. But
If you're listening, HR, you didn't hear anything.
yeah. They won't be listening. But enough about Ollie. So let's talk about you. We're here to hear your story.
What do you want to know?
Where did you start off? So whereabouts were you born? Don't say
Women's
hospital.
and Children's Hospital, 2nd of February, 1996.
what's the
No,
date
not
then?
2nd. Oh my God, I forgot my own birthday then. 29th.
29th, I'd say.
I can't, maybe dementia's kicking in early. No, yeah, 29th February. Yeah, I've been here my whole life. And
okay. Let's go back to when was the first time you picked up any form of game?
ooh,
See, these are hard-hitting questions.
I think it probably would have been a game. It would have been a GameCube, and I would have played it. So my family, funny enough, is like big into like water sports.
Yep.
I was always in the shack playing video games though. So
Yeah.
everyone else was out on the boat, and I would be. Did you ever play the wrestling? WWE SmackDown wrestling?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I'd be playing
100%.
SmackDown with my cousins.
Is that Sega?
Yeah, that's old. That's really, really old.
So you brought
See?
me way back.
And you think I
See?
don't know tech.
You've brought me way back. Whereabouts on the river?
Young husband.
Okay.
So the nice part where you can swim and not get bit by yabbies. So
Yeah, that's true. So you were gay. So was that? Do you have brothers or sisters?
I do. Well, I have. So I had a big family growing up. I have my real brother, same parents, and then I had my step siblings as well.
Yep.
So I had 2 step sisters, 1 step brother, and we were all big gamers. So like whenever a new anything kind of new came out, we were like first on it. And then it was like, so it probably went Sega, then it went Nintendo 64, obviously Game Boy, because Game Boy Pokemon was like a hit in primary school and high school for me.
Yep.
Then it was PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and then just like after that, it's been like bam, bam, bam. Any console that comes out, I need it. So
if you're, your parents must have thought, get. I don't know what I would be like.
off
Get
the
outside.
Go
If
play
I
with
go
dirt.
outside, go for a wakeboard, go for a knee board. I'd be pushing that. How did you find the reaction to your parents when were you playing an abnormal amount of games, or was it just normal?
no, I think it's normal, and I think it progresses. Well, anyway, for my generation, I feel like because we've grown up surrounded by tech, right? And because I had no tech, and then it was like the internet came, bam, technology, everything's online, gaming's online. You can play with your friends now. You don't have to be at your house. You don't have to be sitting there waiting for a whack of a controller if you are cheating or anything. I think I've just progressed with the way that technology has also progressed.
Yeah.
So I was playing a normal amount. I mean, I did play a lot of video games in school, which probably wasn't the best. But now looking back, I'm like, if somebody had told me, been like, hey, you might potentially one day be able to make a career out of this, I would have been like, well, maybe I just focus on this instead of putting energy into something I dislike.
Yep.
Go forward with this. And I could have been doing, I might have been, Elon Musk by now.
Anything.
I'm not joking.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, right.
Anything. So was there I'm assuming did you finish school, or where did you go to school?
Yeah, finished school. So I went to a public school, went to CEPA 6 to 12.
Yeah. I don't even know. Where is that?
It's way down south.
Yeah.
So,
Past Aldinga?
no.
Not
I
that
did grow up in Aldinga, funnily
Oh,
enough.
well, we can talk about that.
So, it's tiny township. I went to a public school, and I think it was one of those things that public school's bad anyway. I think, school's good and bad. I got mixed signals on that with
Oh, school sucks.
school is bad, right? It serves a purpose, but I think it's outdated. I don't think the education system is really there where it needs to be to help set up the next generation for no one's really talking about careers in tech at school. It's still read this 1976 biology and
Don't get
we're
me
going to
started.
quiz you on it.
Don't get me
How
started.
do you feel about it?
Oh, it's back to me. I thought I talked about myself a lot. I can't even drink this wine at this point in time. Well, for me, it's let's face it, the schooling system was introduced by, back in Henry Ford days to train people to work on a line to produce a product that, I could go in that. They were formed
Comrade.
in a box, and then they go to another box, they hear a bell, that's the time they do, and then they can go home. It's changed a lot, and I think there's no doubt the access to the internet and the information you can find on the internet is enough to school 90% of people to what they want to school to.
Yeah.
To me, I passed school. My old man left, year 10, Gillis Plains High, and, he's done pretty well.
He's done really well.
And I think he had a couple of cohorts there that are all done extremely well, but maybe you can't do that anymore because of what is said to be the regime.
Yeah.
And for me, schooling, I learnt manners at school, and to me, it was one of those things that I did because I had to do. So when you talk about it, and I'm having these discussions now, my girls are in 0 and 1 or 1 and 2, and the teachers are saying, I don't know if their reading's up to standard, and I'm like, they're highly intelligent kids, and as a parent, you're always biased, right?
Yeah.
And I was sitting there going, well, fuck them. Like, you're trying to tell me that there's certain parents at the school that want to do hours of homework every night. And I'm like, I said, the kids are doing 8 hours of school a day.
Yeah.
And then they come home. I want to talk to them. I want to play with them. I want them to, run around. They go for a swim, go for a bike ride, be kids. And you look at it, there's a documentary called Who to Invade Next by Michael Columbine.
I have not.
Columbine. Yeah. So he's a guy that did he does all documentaries, a full pusher, but number 1 school in the world, Sweden.
Oh, yeah.
They do, Stockholm, Sweden, they do 0 homework for their whole career, their whole life.
Something about it, their whole system works though.
And they spoke to then they go to school like 3rd and 4th, they're French schools, and they sit and have 3-course meals for lunch, and they don't do homework. And then America, now 56 in the world. Australia, I don't even know where it is, but the moral is they're not sitting there draining the kids of homework, and people go, oh, look, and I'm not a racist person by any stretch, but the Asian kids at our school, they want more homework, and it's not some, it's all of them, because their whole life they just study.
Yeah, different cultures take education more seriously than others. I say seriously, but I use that term very loosely too, because I feel like it's like, do they take it seriously, or is that what they've kind of just been conditioned over the years to think is like the norm?
Yeah.
I don't really think that anyone should be, you can only learn so much in an hour, let alone 8 hours of a day, and then be expected to remember all of that by the end of the year or mid-year for some kind of, and that's why they have things like cramming, and they're like, yeah, just shove it all in at once and then spit it back out. It's like, none of that's going to make any sense to anyone after that. It's just stressful.
Yeah, it's interesting you have that point of view. It's bang on what I do. But moving away from that, let's talk about at what stage did you think, maybe I could do gaming for a living? How did that come about?
Well, I was actually working in safety, funnily enough. So while I was walking around the building earlier, I was just checking out some things, just putting them down, yep, that needs to be, that. No, I used to work, so I was doing retail for a long time, and then kind of...
What sort of retail? Talk to me.
Sales. I was
Anywhere I know?
Well, good old Supre for a while.
Yeah. Dated a girl from Supre.
Oh, gosh. Sorry.
Nice.
In advance.
Great fashion sense.
Fluoro belt? Fluoro singlet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hate to be the one to tell you, but
okay.
No. Anyway, no, so yeah, then I moved up to obviously, the stepping stools of what people think a career should be.
So how old were you at this time? 18 or something. It's early.
How old would I have been? I would have been 18. 19?
I'm just trying to think of you.
19.
For those that can't tell, we've gone to the backstage here.
I forget my age. He helps.
Medicine,
yeah.
And then you went into retail.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me go back.
Yeah, go back. Because I think I want people to understand how, you off the bat didn't say, I'm going to start gaming at the age of 12.
Well, no, the whole plan originally through school anyway was medicine. Make something of yourself, break the family chain, do good. Wanted to do medicine. Didn't have the focus, right? After school, I had absolutely no time for study. The thought of it was so stressful. I said, I'll take a year off, I'll get a normal job.
Yeah.
Got a job in retail, was really good at sales because I can talk to people. I'm not scared of being like, hey, what do you want? Do you need a hand? What are you looking for? I was just kind of a go-getter. Then they move you up positions. So I went to a manager's role. Then I got my job as a safety administrator with Myers.
Yeah, see that to me, after telling what you're talking about, what's safety got to do with talking to people? Your skill set is talking, right? It's a very talented skill set to have.
Well, that's also a very deep story. So at the time, I thought
Luckily,
it
we
was
have
because
time.
my boss thought I was smart, but boy, was I wrong.
I wanted you.
He just thought I was pretty.
Pretty,
So,
yeah, okay.
Which also leads me into, though, why I stand up for myself in gaming now, because, you know, I'll go into that a little bit later if you like.
Park that. But okay, so you're hot, so you go into safety. Okay.
Boss was like, yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Give you a job as a safety administrator, from sales to safety. So I learned a lot about, obviously, safe work sites, OSHA safe, OSHA compliant.
Safe sex.
Well, no, I hope he didn't teach me about that. If he did, I blocked it out for good reason.
So
I'm going to need to charge you for therapy after this session, just so
some
you
people
know.
say it's right there, therapeutic. So you sit there and you go, okay, I'm doing safety. What the hell am I doing this for? I'm assuming this is how these conversations come up. They probably don't come up like that in your eyes, but
No, I just kind of thought, I thought it was normal. Like, this is just the way that adult life progresses, you know? One job into the other, then you find something that you're more suited for, continue on with that until you're like 40, complain about your mortgage, and then die. Which, to be fair, is what a lot of people assume.
I would normally. Are you been listening to my stuff? Because this is all the stuff I bang on about.
Same brain cells,
Yeah.
same brain gang.
That's scary. Some people would say that's scary. So, it's solely what I taught. I say that with all of our people. It's about finding something you enjoy, right?
Yeah.
And then excelling at that, or giving like people that if they're really strong at something, to let them be strong at that. And
Yes. Focus on what they're actually good at, not what they should be good at, or what is a projection of everyone else's idea of what they should be good at.
So we've got we're probably 20, we've got an Amber at 20 years old here.
Yes.
And then at what stage did you think, were you gaming? So in the background of all of this?
Yeah, still gaming. So, because obviously high school days were like peak gaming days. It's when you'd be hanging with your mates, playing Modern Warfare, which was one of my first ones, Modern Warfare 3 as well. You know, I'd be getting told off at school, kind of let that dropped off when you enter the real world. And so something that I really enjoyed just became more of like a time waster, which I hate when people say that about anything that someone's passionate about, whether it be a hobby or whether it be just something that they like derive real enjoyment from that doesn't make you money. It is a time waster. And it's just, it irks me because it's like, time is my finest currency. You know, like if I want to spend that on something that is going to make me happy, that's a really good.
Good.
Like,
and anyone listening to this is like, oh, thank you. But it's so true.
Yeah.
And I are forever correcting myself with my kids, but hang on. If that's what they really enjoy doing, let them go. And as an adult, you sort of have to take the parent sort of role to say, oh, is it educational enough? And now they're learning from this. But it's people need to find what they love in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And was it games for you? Were you doing anything else?
I think...
Were you like doing gymnastics? You're like cheerleader or
No,
something?
I mean, I dabbled in a lot of things. Like I professionally danced for a while. I did soccer, like I played soccer. That was short-lived. And then, you know, I think it was more so something that I have always loved, obviously, is gaming, but for different reasons. I like storytelling. I I love visual novels, or I love things that kind of take me on an emotional journey. Anything, and this is going to sound really bad, anything that takes me away from the escape of reality is something that I enjoy, whether it be science fiction novels, whether it be like, for instance, my favourite series is The Last of Us, right? Because their storytelling is just incredible. And it's takes you on this kind of, you're on this journey with these two characters, and what happens to them you feel. And I think that that's something that people overlook with video games too, is it's so emotion invoking, and it is, you get to live an experience, live somebody else's experience, even just for just a short time, and then you can go back to doing what you're doing in day-to-day life.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to go into that because I've got, after being away from playing, PS2 was my last lot of playing games. I had a bit of a go on someone's Xbox and stuff like that. But I've got a big story about what the Nintendo Switch has done for me and my kids. Like, we were all playing Mario Kart the other night, and it was really cool. Like, it was the three,
Full
me
bonding.
and two girls. Wife was out actually, but that it was full having the fun. Like, and that to me is, that's moments that I'll sit there and go, this is cool. Because as a kid,
You're in the present moment, completely in the present moment.
so if we look at why, I want to see how you eventually made a decision to go, this safety job, maybe
My
not.
boss was a creep.
Okay.
So I quit my job.
no.
My boss was a creep.
So back then, attractive young woman in a role in a
That
big,
I was underqualified for.
Yeah.
Let's just
in a
right off the
big
bat.
company. I mean, and this is an issue. So, if you're having that sort of, I'm assuming, advancements and things like that, which make you think, this is not right.
Yep.
And evidently that's what made you leave?
Quit. Yeah, he asked to see my feet, and I just said, here's my 7 days notice. I'm not even joking. That's literally how it went down. He went, I have a foot fetish. And I said, I need a week off therapy, and then I quit. So, yeah, then I was jobless.
I was fucking joking about that feet before.
No, that's legit. More people have foot fetishes in the world than you and I could even imagine, JP,
So-
honestly.
So you've obviously gone home or whatever. And what have you thought? Okay, I don't need that. I'm going to look at doing something
Thought I
else.
should probably avoid going back there ever again. And then
I mean, this is a problem. It's not only for females. It's
everyone
yeah.
faces this
Yeah.
issue, yeah. I think everyone's uncomfortable or has been at some point or has been unhappy in any kind of role that they're working. But a friend of mine said, you talk a lot of shit. His words exactly. You talk a lot of shit, and I think you'd be great at streaming on Twitch. And I went, what the fuck is Twitch? Because I had no idea it existed at that point. He said, you can play video games, you could just chat, you could do whatever you want. You could cook, you could play board games. Give it a go. I made an account, I closed my laptop, and I didn't touch it for a year.
Yeah.
And then after about a year of just like, I dabbled in little things like, I started getting more involved in the gaming industry, started writing for Esports, so little news articles, whether it be upcoming things that were coming out, or I was doing a lot of reporting for Hearthstone at the time, which was it's like a card game.
Yeah.
So it's like Magic the Gathering,
It's
but
nothing to do
better.
with Half-Life.
No, nothing to do with Half-Life. I still can't wait until Half-Life 3 is confirmed. But no, so
Yeah, you're so funny.
Half-Life 3 is a massive meme. So Meme Lord over here should actually know what I'm referencing.
Seriously, he might not.
No, I don't think he
He might
does.
not.
I think he has no idea. He's just laughing because it sounds funny. No. So yeah, I tried everything that I could to kind of fill my time, and then eventually one day propped my beanbag up in the lounge room, sat my webcam up on my PlayStation. I started streaming directly from a PlayStation
Off the TV.
off the PlayStation to the TV.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever watched a PlayStation stream before. I love them, but oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's just this blinking live red light in your face the whole time, letting you know how many people are watching.
It's like watching a movie from Bali.
Yeah,
Filmed in the cinema?
Actually, that
Yeah,
is the
see?
perfect.
Yeah.
It's like watching a DVD that you've ripped from LimeWire and just being like, this is great. All I can see is the lens in somebody's head, the back of somebody's head. So,
I'm assuming what were you aiming to achieve from this? I'm just guessing. You're out there, young. You're in your early 20s. You're like, what am I going to do now? Been playing games my whole life. I'm just going to, all right, people have said you should Twitch. And you're like, fuck it, I'll just do it.
after a year of debating about it, yeah.
So
I just
okay, this is the just do it part. Like, people talk about, I'm going to do, gonna get it, but just do it. Like, don't worry about the whole production. You've just put a camera there, started filming a TV. Are you talking in this?
the whole time. I'm sitting there talking to myself at first.
No, I've noticed you can talk to yourself?
Yeah, well, nobody's there when you start out. It's like 0 people. It's like, imagine if all of you got up and left the room and I'd be here like, what's up? How we doing today, guys? It's like the deafening silence sometimes kills a little bit of your soul.
So you set this up, and then you must start. How does it flow? Talk to me how it goes from that, because I tell you, a lot of people listening to this from my end of the story won't know. Like they actually can't even believe. Like Gemma, who helped get up some of this info on you, she's like, people make a living from this. Like, and I'm like, yeah. Like it was mind blowing for her. I get it, but you know, what made you think, oh, maybe this is a thing?
I think it was when. So I had originally said, I'm going to give myself 6 months, and if I can't do anything with this in 6 months' time, I'll go and get a normal job again. Like, you know, I wasn't in that mentality of like, this can't be a job, but it's like, how many people could you be like, I want to be a gamer when I grow up? And they'd be like, you're an idiot. Like, well, you know what I mean?
I mean, if my girls came up to me and said that, I'd get it, but I'm talking to a whole lot of people that have no idea. And I think while we're just on that, do you want to explain, for the people that don't know, can you explain what streaming is?
The way that I explain it to my mum, who is really old, is it's like YouTube, except it's live. So everything that I'm doing, you watch as it's happening, and we can interact, we can talk to each other. So it's like watching your favourite YouTuber, but being able to actually say hi, and they can say hi back. So that's the easiest way to explain it.
So was this how you used to set up in the early days?
Oh, no, yes. When did you get that cowboy photo of me?
I've had it for ages. So, there's something about being streaming and dressing up for the occasion as well.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
They do like that. Well, that was when I was playing Red Dead Redemption. See, I was a cowboy. Arthur Morgan.
This is pretty funny.
It's a great photo, actually.
It's cool. Actually.
I want to save a collection of photos like that for when I die, and instead of sad things, I just want all of my memes. I just want screenshots of my best tweets and photos like that.
So when we're talking about when you started to, what was the point? What medium were you on? Did you have an Instagram? Did you have Facebook, YouTube? What were you using in the early stages?
Any social media platform I could sign into, I was using, because it was so important to make sure I was like trying to connect with as many people as possible. And I think like until one platform really starts to work for you, you have to do all of it. And I know people are like, oh, but doesn't that take a lot of time, or isn't that like really difficult to manage? So if I have 15 minutes to scroll, I have 15 minutes to post. Yeah. Like, it's that simple, you know? And I get leisure time is leisure time and business time is business time. But it's like, there is no difference between me scrolling on TikTok and just going, oh, I'll post that clip here too, you know? And so I just literally smashed it as much as I could for the first 6 months. I was like, I have to connect with as many people as I can, find ways to get my content in the algorithm. What can I do that's going to be different to stand out? And then I started creating little bits, as some might call them. I was a news lady for a while too there.
News lady? You know what? I don't have that.
Have you ever seen any of my breaking news clips?
No.
Oh, no. I'll send you a good one afterwards. There was one that I did actually. Can
someone find them, please?
Type in Paladin Amber foot clip. This sounds bad, but it'll bring up the...
That's good. No, I'm happy to...
brings me back into the whole foot creepy boss talk, if you like.
Okay. No, I like that. I like how you're happy to talk about it, to make it aware so other people are aware that it's not acceptable.
Yeah, I think you have to.
And a lot of people don't.
Because they're uncomfortable talking about the uncomfortable.
I get it. And I think it all comes down to your work environment as well. And, you know, we're a different field. We have we employ 6,000 people. Yeah. And, you know, that's a lot of impressionable people, and 65% of our workforce is under the age of 24.
Wow.
So we understand that people come to us, they don't expect to go on and be in supermarkets their whole life, but you know, we're logistics, we're AI, we're analysts, the list goes on. I think we have 200 and something jobs available, not available, but that we have in our business. And I think for people, I keep saying just do what you really enjoy.
Yeah.
And it keeps on coming back. You've clearly said that. I do have a clip here to watch of you, just for the record. And for me, it's crucial to hear you say that and actually have the courage to do that.
So this is probably about 6 months into me streaming.
Okay, can you... I don't pause it, Ollie, but...
Big and handling. I'm gonna tell you to get fucked. Get your foot fetish out of my chat. Get it right out of my chat. I don't want anything to do. I want it. Take it away right now. Get out. Out. Okay, back to you guys.
So somebody had asked me in chat, hey, sexy, if I send you $500, can you send me a photo of your foot?
Yeah.
And it just all came back to me. I was like, creepy boss, foot fetish, quitting my job.
So
No.
it went from there.
Yeah, and so I posted that clip and that blew up overnight. I think it went viral within 24 hours. And I
didn't
couldn't
look at-
understand why. I was like, I'm just doing what I think is funny. And now everyone else is agreeing with me and they're saying, this is funny. And I was like, is this success? Like, I was like, is this what they call success?
Yeah, well, it's your following is coming from because they like you.
Yeah.
And no matter what you're doing with your clips or your videos or your conversation, because, you know, for people that don't know streaming, you literally Amber will play a game and it could be anything
Yeah.
and talk the whole time. But during that time, can you hear people or is it chat?
Sometimes you can hear people.
Yes.
It depends.
So there's a chat box going on the side and you're obviously playing and responding to people chatting.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's probably a good segue to go into that. During that time, you must get a lot of interesting comments. I would almost, I mean, we talk about cyberbullying and what's going on the internet. And let's face it, I call them keyboard warriors. Anyone that doesn't talk to you face to face but's quite happy to reel off a whole barrage of bad comments to you. We get it all the time. We get it through Facebook, we get it through email. Very rarely we get it through in a phone call, and very rarely do we get it confrontational.
Yeah.
But I've noticed with streaming, there is a consistent. You can block people, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming there's consistent dialogue there. How do you? And you seem to be a slayer of people that are quite happy to come to you with something that's probably a little bit left to centre. I just say fucking sleazy.
Sleazy, super sleazy.
Yeah. So I'll leave it at that. I won't leave it at that. But how you would have started to notice? You started to build up a following. You know, you've got 110,000 Twitch followers. You got 140,000 Twitter followers. You got 25,000 Instagram. You know, you are an influencer.
Yeah, I don't like that term though.
Yeah, correct. But you are, right? People look up to you and they go, fuck, I want to be like her.
Yeah.
So do you ever say something, because I know I do, where you think, oh, fuck, that probably, you know,
shouldn't have left my mouth.
No, I never worry about that.
Sentence back where it came from.
Yeah, I never worry about that part. But do you see yourself as a role model?
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand the responsibility that I have online, especially as a female gamer, somebody in my early 20s, like in my youth, and just somebody who people sort of, especially because I do stand up for myself quite a bit.
Clearly.
It gives people their own sense of worth in some respects, because they will then see that and put forward the same motion of like, I am not going to allow you to speak to me this way. Or if you come in and you say something creepy, I'm going to make fun of you first, because let's be real, humiliation is probably one of the funniest things for other people to witness, but especially if it's a bad person being humiliated. It's like the best, it's like the ultimate karma, really. It's like, you came in here to make me feel uncomfortable and we're all just laughing at you for it.
So that's how it's seen in like while you're streaming? Is that because that's how I think it's seen in real life as well?
Yes.
And I've seen it over and over again when someone is trying to be a dick and they get sorted out very quickly.
Well,
anyone
like
that's a dick near my wife, look out, especially after a few drinks. She's like a slayer.
Oh.
Like unbelievable slayer. Like to the stage where people are like, okay, well, I don't think I should say anything again. And she's got my back, right? So when you're there by yourself,
Yeah.
what are you thinking? Like, are you actually thinking, oh, this guy's a dick? Hey, you're watching me. Is it a bit cocky? Can you say that? Can I say
No,
that?
it's more so, it's just like, I can't believe you had the audacity to even consider saying that to anyone. Like, I would take it personally if it was happening to any of my friends, any of my family, just like I would take it personally if it was happening to just a specific person in my chat room as well. Like, people don't just come in and call me out. They'll come in and they'll be like, oh, look at this bunch of simps. And I don't know if you know what a simp is.
Can you tell me simpleton is it?
I don't think I can actually. Wait, Ollie, do you think I can tell you what a simp is?
It's only going on YouTube, so it should be.
This is entertaining. Like, my old man will listen to this and he'll go, what the fuck's a simp?
Oh, okay.
No,
So the
say how it
word
is.
simp means suckers, idolizing, mediocre, fill in the blank.
Really?
Yeah.
Who the fuck comes up with this shit?
So it's assholes who think that being nice makes them less manly, if that's who made it up. So they coined the term simp to describe anyone who has a shred of respect for anyone other than themselves. And basically people will come in and be like, oh, look at this bunch of simps. And I'm like, yeah, and so what? We're simply idolizing many people. What of it? Like, you know, just make fun of the situation. But I get feisty, I think, when anyone decides to show disrespect to somebody else. Because it's so easy to be empathetic, and it is so easy to just be nice. Like, it actually takes more effort intellectually for you to be an asshole than it does for you to just be kind.
Yeah.
I'm like impressed, also disappointed. I'm like a parent sometimes. I'm like, really smart insult, but super disappointed in you, you know?
So how do you pick up on that when you're clearly female can do two things at once?
Yes.
Maybe I might have a problem streaming.
Let's back that up there. People, the gender inclusive, people have a problem.
Yeah,
No.
me, I think. So you're playing a game, but you're obviously got your eye on the chat line. So do you how often do you see? Is it common or not?
Pretty much every day.
So it's far more common online than it is in real life.
I would disagree with that. I think the internet is a cesspool of bacteria, both good and bad bacteria.
Yeah.
They cultivate in their own little corners. Sometimes they meet together and they make a great little nest of bacteria. You're like, do I touch it? Don't I? Is it going to kill me? Who knows? It's like a probiotic. You're like, it could be good for you, it could really be bad for you. It might upset some things. But
That's
like,
a different way to look at it.
yeah, but even like yesterday, like I was down my local beach, right? And I had two dudes approach me and my friend and sexually harass us to a point where I just said, don't approach me. Because I'm like that in real life now. I'm like, do not approach me. I don't want to speak to you. Go away. Who then yelled profanities and told me that they were going to beat my head in.
Yeah.
So I just called the police because I'm petty like that. And I was like, get him. You know, like, I think it's as dangerous online as it is in real life, especially, and I like to be very gender inclusive now because a lot of my community is either gender fluid or trans or just identifies as they, them. I think that it is just as dangerous for a woman in real life as it is in person. I think there's no...
Hang on. In real life and person. Hang on, sorry.
in online and in person. Yeah. I think they're both equally as dangerous.
Yeah.
Which is a hard topic because not a lot...
No, we talk about anything, don't worry. Gender fluid, first time I've heard that. It's interesting to see how I think online's far more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think people are more inclined to say stuff that they would never say to you in person. The dickhead at the beach, I mean, you know, you're always going to get something like that, but it doesn't happen to me, by the way. But
it's just so intimidating.
Yeah.
Just have to learn to T-pose more often.
But, you know, I think from what I've seen, we cop a lot of barrage via a screen. But when you ring them and say, hey, you know, they backpedal straight away and really appreciate the phone call.
Yeah.
So it comes from being what I call a keyboard warrior to, hang on, because we want anything that comes into us via any form, we reply to. So if someone's emailing, and sometimes the old man, like the boss, the Dad, like the old man, so boss owner. Like, yeah, he will
The man
reply.
of many
Yeah,
names.
he will reply, and
Crack one of these.
yeah, one of these. It's drinking Red Bull.
Sponsored.
Amber sponsored by Red Bull. Not that we're not going to talk about Red Bull much, but in just wrapping that up, we will respond to everyone, and I think you can get everyone. There's a lot more online, and I was doing a bit of is it stalking, lurking? I was lurking with you. No, well, I wasn't with you. Actually, I was on you.
Are you just... Do I have to call HR again? Is this another...
We might need to call the
Yeah,
police.
flashbacks. Please tell me you don't like feet.
Yeah, don't have a feet fetish.
Good.
And so we're in. So I was having, and some of the, when people, and I don't want to go into it yet, but when people, they seem different online, they can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
I would say
With
this
no
is
consequences.
was 80% of the people good and 20 bad, or 90, 10, or 50-50.
To begin with, it was probably equal, 50-50.
Yeah.
But then, because you start cultivating, like I said, your own weird little culture of bacteria. It's, good for you eventually. So, I've just slowly been see you later, ushered them out in the nicest way possible. And now I've got a beautiful community. And most of them, I got 400 people who watch me religiously every single day. But that's not to say there's people churning through and coming through, stopping by, saying hi. But I probably have a core audience of 400 people around the world who come back. And I know if one person comes in chat and they'll be like, hey, pretty lady, you want to make $500? They'll all be like, get the fuck out. So it's you slowly get people who will back you up as well. And then the shit bit becomes less and less.
So I'm going to explain it in a layman's term. You have your own posse of people, and
Basically, a cult.
eventually the majority of those people have your back.
Yeah.
And you always get, let's say, a floater come through that might, just be a sleaze, just a total troll.
Yeah.
They still use that term. I don't know. Does it still use trolls?
This might be offensive to trolls. I'm not sure, though. We have to think about that one.
This is... Well, there you go. It might be offensive to trolls.
I don't know.
But they come in and they'll say something, but then you don't need to do the talking because the rest of your posse
We'll
does
literally kick them out. It's like bodyguards.
Yeah.
It's like having 400 bodyguards.
And for someone that doesn't understand that, is that you have hundreds of thousands of people following you over all your platforms.
Yeah.
And when one person comes in and the other's like, yeah, get lost, mate. Or mate, what do you say if it's trans fluid?
Gender fluid. And you'd say, get lost, person. I think you would. Wouldn't
Oh my
you?
God.
No, you
I'm
just say
gonna-
fuck. Well,
Well,
you just
fuck off,
fuck
you
off.
would say.
Yeah.
Because I have noticed you're quite blunt and
Yes.
direct.
Yes.
Because what scares me is that you said 50% early on
Yep.
is putting up with dudes fully suggestive sleazing, offering money to look at my feet, send them underwear. Who knows?
Oh, some dude did send me underwear. That's...
Yeah, but they probably want your underwear. Oh, that's a bit weird then. Sending.
No, they were extra, extra, extra large. They sent me underwear, and I was like, what am I going to do with these? Parachute? I was like, I know I'm small, but please. I was like, I'm 5 foot. Are you trying to tell me something? Are we going to, go windsailing together?
Oh, there's a new skirt for you. So that's a lot of a lot to process in regards to people coming that want to try this, that have to build the base, that get the people behind them, that actually have them back.
Yeah.
And it's no different than, a Formula One person that has no money gets the backing of over 100 people to be able to get to the stage to be able to drive a Formula One car.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that that's the time that takes, have you watched The Social Dilemma doco on Netflix?
No, but I've heard good things.
You have to watch it.
Okay.
Because one thing it
Are
leads...
you giving me homework, though?
This is...
Didn't we just talk about this?
No, you just
sorry.
do what you want to do.
Continue.
Do it, just fucking watch it. So when you watch that, one of the stats in there that really caught my attention and made me really... We can watch JP rates. It's on YouTube. He rates Social Dilemma. But one of the things that gets me was from 2012... when social media was really introduced through Facebook, so it was a little bit before, but that was the real kicker, is female suicide 16 years and under increased by 300%.
Yep.
And that number, I got 2 young girls.
Scary.
Home. That was the number that I went, oh, and I think I sent text messages to these guys. Oh, it was a group chat, no one sent text messages either. And I sent it, I said, you got to watch this because that was the one that hit home. My girls are going to go through this.
Yeah.
And how do you actually deal with it and understand when the problems are happening? And then to make that worse, after the school holidays came back, and when the teachers, oh, you have a good holiday, blah, blah, blah. And the teachers, oh, one of my nieces, a niece under 13 years of old, killed themselves. And you can put that down to cyberbullying. I was like, fuck. Like, as a parent, nothing could be worse.
It's frightening,
How do you miss this? And it will lead me on to, you'd see things online. I think people hide behind the curtain a little bit online. You've built a community over 3 years. It's a short period of time.
Yeah.
Like in regards to growing a career.
2 years, probably full time, doing it with a PC, like professional setup. But the first year of anything, it's just runway.
Yeah,
right. And you know that in business terms. It's just runway, doing whatever you can with whatever you've got, whatever gear you've got. The second year that I was operational as a business, like from a business perspective, was when it was really like professional. So I've only really popped off in the last 2 years, which is still a lot of time, like a short amount of time to even just figure it out myself, really. So,
and it is a short period of time, and that was the stat that movie. It got copped a bit of grief about, the way that it was set up, but what it did, it really showed you exactly what it's like for you and your phone and trying to disconnect. And to me, it blew me away. Like, because that says it as it is. And it was done by a whole lot of people that have left Google, left Facebook, left Pinterest. Like, they've all left, and they were telling you. So the question that really got me is, so do you give your kids a tablet? And all of them are like, no way. Like, they're talking about younger children. That, when your brain's still developing, you can be manipulated, which we've seen over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your style is a bit more of you fucking hammer them. And I don't know if you've got a highlight reel of you just hitting people on the head, but it's pretty impressive.
Oh, give them the horny bonk. That's what it's called. Online, that's what it's called. You get a bonk. Like, not like that, at all like that, just to clarify. Not like that at all. Like, as in, there's Ollie knows, a hammer, a dog, doge, bonk, yep.
I did it to a Woolworths and you wouldn't let me put it in.
All right, a horny bonk.
That's worse.
A horny
Think
bonk.
about what you say before you say it.
You did it to who?
Woolworths, I've made an animation where it went bonk because they messed up on something and I caved their head in.
Gave him the horny bonk. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
In the memes. All right.
Hammers Woolworths. So to me, it's quite brutal.
Yeah.
And from what I watched, and I've watched you a fair bit, and what you've said back is pretty quick. And it almost comes across as non-offensive. But the gore of some people, to come and say things that they would never say in real life. But you said these guys the other day. But I think people are more inclined to say things behind the curtain, personally.
Yeah. I think
behind the screen.
It's hard because I really think the internet is a very grey. I think the internet and navigating the internet is such a grey field, right? Because you have on one side, it's like, well, how is it? People are going to be people and they're going to say what they want to say regardless if they're going to say it behind a screen. So do you better prepare your girls? Do you tell them to stand up for themselves? Do you start, really instilling in them that they are strong enough and that somebody's words mean no merit unless you give it merit? So while somebody, and I know that it's that's why I say it's a grey area, but it's like if somebody says I'm ugly on the internet, but I myself am like, well, I woke up today and I feel pretty fucking good actually, and I think I look great. I think my eyebrows are pretty symmetrical, not sisters, definitely not twins, maybe cousins, right? If I was to do that, I then take the power back from them, and I'm like, you said I was ugly, I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing, because it's like, maybe that's what we should be teaching instead of like fear the internet, because I think that the internet can be demonized quite a bit as well. Dangerous online, dangerous, don't give out, like don't talk to, and it is, but it's moving that way. We have no choice. Everything is online, right? Everything. And COVID showed us that more than ever, right? How did we stay connected? Online. So you can't really categorize it and demonize it anymore. You have to be able to be like, right, this hasn't worked, and we've seen that the cyberbullying has gone up. How do we just start telling people to stick up for themselves, but giving them those tools that will help? And that goes into a whole other thing where I think therapy should be free, and we should be teaching kids like that shit in school, and I don't really care what pi is anymore. I need to know how to be able to better equip myself mentally to deal with situations like that, versus being like, oh, do you remember the square root of pi? I'm like, I've never used that once in my life, sir. What I would like to know is how to manage my emotions.
You raise a very valid point, and with my kids, and they're young, something that we never had as a kid, that we treat them like an adult.
Yeah.
They actually hear all of our conversations, and just recently, my little one Scarlett's gone, she's already said, this Easter bunny, Dad, I don't buy it. She's 6, right? And she goes, I don't buy it. I don't buy how a bunny can deliver chocolate eggs around the world same day. Don't buy it. I went, honey, believe what you want to believe. If you don't believe in Easter bunny, don't. So just yesterday, this Santa, Dad, I don't believe it. I think you and Mum give me presents. And I was like, oh, fuck, what do? You can't say. So I said, believe what you want to believe.
Yep.
Some people really believe in that, but you go with what you think.
Yep.
So I didn't say no. I didn't say yes, but I don't think I can lie.
I don't think we should be lying.
And we've brought our kids up like that, and they're pretty sassy kids. They're very switched on. And I was like, okay, so Layla the other day, put some clothes on and goes, Dad, do I look fat in this? And I was like, had a heart attack. I was like, Layla's 7. And I said, excuse me. I said, what? Why did you say that? And she says, oh, I don't know. I said, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I went, I almost tear up about it. I wouldn't be the first podcast. And I sit there and I looked at her and I said, Layla, you never know, you never need to worry about what someone says about you.
Yeah.
And so what you're saying is exactly true. We need to teach them these techniques. But
the fact that she is 7 years old and she's already thinking that her physical appearance is her worth is disgusting.
She's a rake, man.
Yeah, but it's
ridiculous, right? So it shows you the shit that goes on at school, right?
Yeah. But it's also social media, and that's where I would agree that I think photo manipulation is so outdated. Get fucking rid of it. Stop photoshopping out things that everyone has.
There's a girl that comes up on my Instagram feed. Is
it me? No, let's go.
She's pretty attractive, doesn't wear much, but every photo you look and you're like, you can't look like that. And she doesn't. No. Massive gap like this, and ass is tight, and it's this is ridiculous. Yeah, it's
no one's but
no
looks
one,
like that.
right? No one's. And I was like, why don't you do videos, bitch? Because that'll sort you out.
No, because it's video manipulation as well.
But I know that. But I look at it and I think it's so far. But surely people know.
No, see, this is the thing though. It's I'm big in the body positivity community as well, where I'm really all for getting rid of Photoshop, getting rid of Facetune. Stop purchasing your ideal face. If you want to get I work on yourself for yourself, but don't outwardly portray it as, oh my God, look at how beautiful I am because of all these things that I've done to make myself beautiful, like buying Facetune or fillers or whatever. More power to you if that's what you do to make you feel good, but you should never, ever be like, buy my lip kit and it's going to make you look like me. It's no, you went to a surgeon for that. Completely different. And one of the biggest things that's just come around is the fact that not a lot of people actually know that the reason why women have a stomach when they turn to the side is because that's their organs. Yeah. That's literally their uterus and their organs, right?
Yeah.
And so you get people that have been for so long, but women are supposed to have flat stomachs and abs, mind blown. You're where do you want me to put my life, my things that give me actual life? Where would you like me to just over to the side? What?
Well, fuck, I don't have a uterus and I've got that side.
I have some beer gut.
So look, I mean, we talk about, and that's valid. What we've said, it's something I'm hot on.
Yeah.
And as soon as I hear it, I see it, I'm all over it, and I say it as is. Like, don't take shit from anyone is what
Yeah.
I tell my girls. And if it means fucking pushing someone, push them. I'm not in for violence, but don't put up with someone in your face. Keep them this is your space.
Yep.
Any problems, see your teacher. If that doesn't do anything, then we'll kill them. But
And it's not about being malicious with it either,
No.
right? It's like if somebody's doing something that's hateful, harmful, or hurtful to you, that's when that behaviour is appropriate. It's the 3 H's
I
that I
like
live
that.
by:
This is a
hateful,
3
harmful, or hurtful.
did you get those 3 H's? They are very
That's the new
important.
Drake slogan.
Yeah,
I will send you an
like that.
invoice.
I'm going to send that around. I'll take. Oh, I don't know if I'll pay for it. So we talk about. Let's talk about interesting things. I noticed Twitch has started banning people for saying certain words
Yes.
because of how it's affecting streamers. Like,
No, it's
you-
not the streamers.
can you please explain?
Well, you know that what was that word that I told you before?
Which one?
Do you remember simps?
Yeah, the Sims.
Simps. So I can't even believe that.
Well,
I
this
have
is
to
a
say
thing.
this.
This is a thing.
Yeah.
Twitch has done this.
So they've just banned the terms simp, virgin, and incel. Now, could you think about what kind of person would be called any of these 3 things? A
Sorry,
simp, a virgin.
I hate saying this. I know what a virgin is.
Yeah.
What's an incel? Oh my God, I don't know this. You're laughing. You know what it is. V, you do not know what this is. What is an
I'm trying to think of the way that it's like politically correct
Well, let's
for
see
me
what
to explain
Google's.
this.
Is it in? I love how I have to Google my own stuff here.
The word means in celibate, so people that are voluntarily virgins.
Yep.
Sorry, I miss. What was that? Say it so we can hear it.
Incelebrant.
Yeah.
So people who are voluntarily virgins. So people who choose to be like
Oh.
meme lords. I'm kidding.
It's just so funny. Like, this is hilarious because I get in trouble for giving him shit. So I'm all for you.
No, but
So what do you voluntarily? Well, aren't you? Sorry, unless you've something really bad, so aren't you voluntarily?
yeah, that's the irony about these terms anyway, is like that none of them are actually offensive, but the people who have been called these things are normally the people who are also saying really unpleasant things. And so because that is a majority of Twitch.
Oh, fuck, I'm out of there. I've missed this all. How do I miss all this?
It's a different era.
It is, isn't
Different
it?
decade.
And I'm young.
Do you know how some people would come in and be, oh, what would be the like Drake's equivalent of incel, Ollie?
Karen.
You know how some people would be like, oh my God, you guys are such a Karen.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And you'd be like, I'm not a Karen. How dare you? I'm more of like a Susan. I bring Pavlova. I'm nice, right? That's the same as incel.
Wow. Okay. I'm all right. I'm old. I've been told I'm old.
Same thing, just different
So
words.
has the DMCA affected you? And could you give a quick explanation of what the DMCA is?
All fun at the YMCA, but not at the DMCA.
Fill me in. A lot of I could guarantee most people listening to this, other than your viewers, if they get to listen, won't know what this. What's a DMCA?
So you play music in the stores, right?
Yep.
You pay a license for that
Yep, we
music.
do.
A hefty license
Yes,
at
it
that.
is. It's ridiculous.
Twitch has gotten away, not away, but for a while they've kind of been in this grey area where anyone could listen to any music.
So it's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Yes, yep.
Yeah,
And there
yeah.
are certain companies who are coming after, mainly the RIAA, is so many acronyms. It's like spelling bee.
You're speaking to the best speller on the planet here. Not.
Okay, I was going to test you there, but I won't.
Don't. I could Google it and I'd still have troubles. You know when you can't spell something, when Google doesn't even give you an option.
I don't even bother anymore at this point. I'm like, however it comes out is how it's spelt.
I
I'll just
like
be
you.
saying it. Coming
I like you. That's how I think. But anyway, you know what I'm fucking talking about. Just because it's not spelt right and these two. sit
Yeah.
there, oh,
You don't have to pull me up on it. I know the difference between your and your, but I don't care. Like, no.
DMCA. How's that affected you?
So it has affected me, number one, because I've had to, it would be like, imagine if you had it would be like somebody coming in and being like, hey, I need all of this product off the shelf right now. And that happens sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
It's called a gollywog.
But them coming in and just like getting all of it and being like burning it in front of you, that's what I had to do with my content, right? So all of that time, all of that effort, all of those streams.
Well, you actually had to take it down.
Delete it, remove it. I can't do anything with it anymore.
Even though it was after, no, it wouldn't have been after
No.
1998.
Because, yeah, exactly. So Twitch really kind of, they didn't fail us, but they failed to protect their streamers with it. They've worked really hard on fixing the issue, and they still are. A lot of the time, these acts or these, like, big companies are old and they haven't caught up. So what they think is acceptable is very outdated.
Yeah. No, and fair enough.
It's
Fair
like
enough for that.
they haven't offered, like the DMCA hasn't even considered offering streamers individual licenses the same way that you license music.
Yep.
They don't want that. They want to go straight to Twitch. They want to hit Twitch because they know that Twitch will pay up. Like eventually they'll have to pay big money for a license so that everyone can stream music on that platform. So they don't really care about who gets hurt in between. They just want that big ticket, give us what's owed, and then we'll call it a day. And Twitch is kind of like, well, we're not going to pay you, so maybe just delete all your content, guys. And so we were all like, wait, hold up. We have to do what now? They're like, yeah, just all of it, get rid of it. And now we're just waiting.
So you could keep your followers though?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Your followers in your channel was fine, but, I mean, unless one of your followers was, like, a sound, like a horn or something. Like, one dude got done for his blender in the background. No, dead set. It got copied.
Well, someone's got that as a copyright, a blender?
Skrillex. It was in one of his songs, the sound that sounded exactly like a Skrillex song. This man was just making lunch. And the DMCA was like, not today, sir. And he got banned. So that's what I mean. Like, they're old. They don't get it. And I don't want anyone to get offended when I do say old, but I feel like old means, like, outdated. Like,
Yeah, it's okay.
spoiled milk slowly going off.
What exactly is, it is what it is, I think. Wow. That's, see, that's news to me. I didn't realise that. I guess, do you see Twitch as the platform now? Do you see anything that can rise above Twitch in regards to live streaming?
No, but I feel like Twitch has a lot of work to do, right?
So can you tell us how not how much, like, I don't want to know how much you earn or anything, but how does the fundamental of Twitch work? So a lot of people wouldn't even know that Twitch take their percent or you know, what sort of, can you, whatever you can tell me. No, I know you make money. I'm just, how does Twitch make their money? So for instance, we do Uber Eats. They charge us 35% for every fucking order that goes out that door. We make zero money off Uber Eats. They make money, we don't.
Yeah.
So how does Twitch work? They
take 20% of every sub that I make.
So when you mean
subscription.
But I don't have to pay for a subscription.
You don't have to, right?
Yeah.
That's the best bit about Twitch. You can watch for free.
Yeah, and I do, but it like
Stingy,
I know
you should be subbing to the channel. How dare you? That is premium content.
So don't get me started. So YouTube have
I'm a simp, JP.
So YouTube have like a members page, and you can pay $5 or something or whatever for more premium content.
Yeah.
And they obviously take their money from the advertising. What happens with Twitch? But just tell me what you need to. I don't want to know ins and outs. I'm
Twitch
curious how the platform works.
Yeah, how they make money. Well, they were running at a loss for a bit.
Yep, most do to get started.
Yep. And now they've really implemented ads. So they've had ads for a very long time. But if you're not subscribed, you will get an ad every half an hour. You get 5 minutes worth of ads actually now. That's what they've like changed it to. So if you're not subscribed to me and you're watching my content, something really good is about to happen, you'll get smacked with 5 minutes worth of ads. And so you'll miss 5 minutes worth of content. So that means not only have they just made ad revenue off you, but it it makes you go, fuck, I've got to sub so I don't miss out. Then you might sub to my channel to watch my content specifically, right? That doesn't give you free reign over the whole platform, just my
just
content.
your channel.
Yeah. Then they make 20, oh no, is it 30 or 20%? 20? 20
What
now.
about you personally?
Yeah. That's what I-
No, you tell me just the industry. I don't want to know about you.
The industry it's 60-40.
60-40.
Yeah.
That's right. That's, yeah. Not if you're...
Hang on. Like if you're Amber, you're better than anyone else. But
No,
what's
Twitch partner is different.
so okay? So what's
That's your
60-40? Yeah, it's okay. So 60-40. You keep 60, they take 40.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm a sub. What do I get? JP's on here. He's on Twitch, which I am now. If it says I can love you or the heart you, or does sub come up?
Let me have a look. I don't know what
I haven't looked. I've just got whatever was the first thing. NBL, whatever that is.
Right, so...
There's a follow button. Oh, and a subscribe with 20% off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Should take
So
advantage of that.
tier 1 only renews monthly at $8.99.
Yep.
But if I subscribe, I get $7.19 off for the first month. That's a month charge.
It is monthly.
What are you charging
What do you mean?
for your channel for
It's
subscription?
flat fee. Twitch decides what the subs are worth. So every person who subs to me, it's worth $8. Well, because of the current...
You're
it's-
offline at the moment.
I wonder where she is. Probably not streaming. Write in chat, you idiot. I'll see it when I get home. It'll be great.
That's all right. Oh, it's saying, you know what's weird? I've just put your Paladin, Amber, and it said she's offline at the moment. Try these people out. Fucking
So it's
dogs.
recommend. I know.
Freaking dogs. I don't want to look
That's
at
like
these
you
people.
advertising Colts
Yeah, it's,
inside.
and it is like. And now I want your channel. Oh, sorry, it's here. Boomer, doomer. You're the same. So you'll charge the same rate.
Yep. So subscriptions are there's three tiers as well. So there's a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3.
Yep.
Tier 3s are the virgins. No,
Yep.
I'm kidding.
It's pretty funny.
They call themselves that. They make fun of like
They're first timers.
no. They're the ones that pay. Their subscription is worth the most, right?
So they're not virgins.
No, but that's the whole thing. Is like people.
It depends what country you're in.
It's so hard to describe meta jokes when they've become so far in depth with themselves that it's like sometimes I don't even understand it anymore.
Okay, so your tiers, tier 1.
Tier 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. So your tier your tier 3, they ain't virgins. They're like high class escorts. Their subscription fee is $42.
They're just people who really want to financially support the channel, right?
Okay.
And I say that with seriousness because I have quite, like I said, I love my community. We really have become probably like a close little family now at this point. So it's like the office here, you know, you'd never, like, it's all you, I make fun of them, just like you could come in and poke fun at your coworkers.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like they are people who have financially supported me, but also emotionally supported me the whole time to be like, we don't care what you do, we just want to hang out with you. And so their way of kind of giving back for the content or for whatever it is that they're deriving from my content, which whether it may be companionship, just entertainment, that's why the tier 3 is there. But
So-
people make fun of it a lot, so
I
you should tier 3 sub.
I love how you love them so much. Like that shows a lot of passion in like what you're doing.
You got to be grateful.
Yeah, totally. And I don't think everyone would be like that.
Some people aren't.
Yeah, but to show that, so it actually shows it's exactly what we do. I would almost say on a smaller scale because we have a fair few customers that come into the store each and every week. But no, in a larger scale because your Connect core group is probably 400 or 500.
It would be more than that because the numbers, the way that it works is it's like there might be 1,000 people who watch me religiously.
Oh, there's like that last
But
stream
they
was
all-
7,500 were watching.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. So 7,500
Yep.
people came through,
Yeah.
but I at one point had like
This
for the
many
whole day I
live.
had a concurrent of 400 people watching. So it's like somebody coming in the door as somebody's coming out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's having 400 customers in the store.
Yeah.
One leaves, but one comes in. You still have the same amount, but that's extra foot traffic of another person that's come in.
Oh, it's great, and I love, and I think they'd appreciate, and that's probably why they follow you. Let's face it, is because of the value you're giving them. They
You'd be nothing without your customers. I would be nothing without my community, and that is very important.
So with Red Bull, you got a bit of an alliance, might be a sponsorship deal. I don't know what you've got going on there, but you've got something to do with Red Bull. I noticed in your
Red Bull athlete.
as Red Bull athlete, and in the background, you've got a nice fridge, strong thumbs, and late at night. No,
I get to choose my hours.
So what's a normal day? You know what? Before I get to what a normal day for you is, like, what was your involvement with the esports team Liquid in America?
Oh, I love
that-
Team Liquid.
Oh, fuck. You're not?
No, right.
Okay, there's a bit more to it. Sorry.
Nope.
It's a bit touchy. I was trying to go with something pretty plain Jane.
We
here.
dated for
Okay,
a while. This is how I like to explain it. We flirted, we dated. We're going to get married, but thought maybe we were rushing.
Yep.
So we decided to just pump the brakes a little bit, figure ourselves out, explore the world, but we're still friends.
Right. So there you have it. It's like, we use the saying, you can't be half pregnant.
Well, no, I'm kidding.
Like, our sayings, we can't be half pregnant. Like, we can't go into a relationship and be half pregnant. This is your way of being half pregnant?
Oof. Yeah. Well, no, because we were never really, no sex before marriage.
Yeah, okay.
So
I can go with that.
we didn't really, seal the deal.
Yeah, I get that.
But we still work on a lot of things together, and I love Team Liquid because they do esports differently.
So, esports. Give someone a brief explanation of what an esport is.
Right. So your favourite football team,
Yep.
except it's video games.
Yep.
So
Got it.
you've got a team of people who play video games for that house or that team. So you've got many different categories, the same way you've got football, rugby, tennis, whatever it may be what sport you're interested in.
What's some of the names of these esport teams?
Esports teams. You've got,
Just a couple.
you've got Fnatic, which is an Australian team.
Yeah, you know what? That's
what you want?
That's it.
Yeah.
That I use that terminology all the time. That's me. I'm
Yeah.
a fanatic. In fact, there's a lot to do with that name, but I can't say that.
What's that?
Yeah,
Is
stop
that
saying.
After Hours podcast?
Yeah.
You should do a JP After Dark.
Ooh, that would be good.
Oh, okay, wait. Being told absolutely not. Do you want to come and do... I did Paladin Amber After Dark for a while, and let me tell you...
Yeah, I don't think my people are
I'll let your people talk to my people, which is this one.
done. So there's teams and they compete.
Yeah. They compete for a World Cup. Same way that most sports do. They have things like, you've got your home matches or you've got your invitationals. So I went to Montreal last year, funnily enough, before the pandemic.
When did you go there?
I was there February.
Oh, wow.
I came back, what day? It was like 3 days before my birthday,
Yeah, it must have been
actually.
the end of February.
It was like really close. I remember coming back and like at that point, nobody had thought it was like going to shut. No one was like, nah, borders will stay open. Everything will be fine. I was supposed to go from Montreal to LA for 2 weeks after that. And I cut my trip short because I was like, I don't trust it. If I was over there,
That's lucky.
I would have been caught up in all of what happened with America.
Yeah, you would have been in a riot.
I would have been in a riot, probably got COVID twice, and then locked in, couldn't get out. So I'm glad I came back.
You would have made your way to Miami.
I would have gone to Las Vegas more so than anything. go to LA.
So, So what happens? What happens at these esports events? Like, you know, COVID did one thing. It made people realize you can race cars. I love racing cars, and you get real race car drivers together. They race people that can't afford to race a race car, and they put them together. And sometimes people that have never been in a race car are faster on E. Very rarely faster on the track.
Well, speaking of tracks, I'm actually doing that soon anyway myself. I'm going for a hot lap. It's the first time I'm going to be in a fast car.
You're not going back to Red Bull, are you?
Segway, yes. Sponsored. No, I'm kidding. Sponsor him. No.
Talk about fast car. I'll take you at the bend in a car, and it'll be faster than whatever Red Bull V8 you're in.
You want to bet?
I'll bet.
Should we do that?
Yep.
Done deal. All right, cool,
Done.
cool.
Someone make that happen.
Fee's like, fine. In the calendar.
So esport, what happens? Like you know, I don't quite hear about it much of in Australia. And how big is esports in Australia compared to the rest of the world?
It is big, but we're very limited. So because we tend to get put into what's classed as the APAC region, where you've got Asia Pacific, which is, I think, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and a few others are all kind of in the same category, like regionally. So it's not that
it's a numbers game.
It's a money game.
Yeah.
Financial game.
Yep.
So if there's not enough to back the team, which a lot of the time, because Australia, it's not like we're behind the curve, right? But we're kind of running just behind and we can see it and we're like, I want to be involved.
Well,
but nobody wants to take the risk.
It takes a bit longer under the cables, underwater. Takes a bit longer.
I know. And then you've got to fight bears to get to the box to turn it on.
Oh, we got kangaroos, we got crocodiles, we've got all of these things. Yeah, we've got all these things that get in the way. And we've got the most venomous snakes, spiders, whatever it is. It's a bit harder here in Australia.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
It's when I lose a game, I'm like, spiders. You have no idea. It's just the spiders, guys. Can't blame it on my skills. Should have seen it. He was in there fighting my cords, cables. No. But, yeah, so we tend to be slightly behind, especially when it comes to esports, but the teams here are great. Like, I've met pretty much most of the Fnatic team.
Yeah.
I've met a couple of others who are, like, on independent teams. So the same way that any sports happens, you can make a team. We could make a team. We can make a tennis team. We can make a football team. Doesn't mean we're going to be any good, but we might be really good. But unless somebody takes that opportunity to back you and to pay for you to go to
how much? Could we make a team right now?
Yeah, I reckon we could. What is our strength though? I was front and center.
We can talk.
That's true.
Yep.
So maybe the team is the podcast. Think about it.
But don't we need to battle or something? Like what game? What games are people playing? Like, is there we're choosing Fortnite as the game, or we're choosing
Do you know how to build 90s though? Oh God, we're in trouble. All right, back to drawing board.
90 degrees. Yeah, I know how to build them.
You know how to build a 90?
Yeah. Yep. No, but what? But is there a game I played that one where you shoot people in the war. It's a war game. I can't remember what it is.
Such a bait. That's every game. I shot that one where they're in the war. All right.
I must admit, got Nintendo there. Saints Row. It's pretty hard to get the aim right to shoot people. I don't know. Is it just? It's just me, isn't it?
You got to be.
Okay, this isn't good sign.
Training.
This is a good sign. Yeah, I'll get some practice.
Mm-hmm.
But what would involve? I'm joining. You know what? Let's say I've got the money and I'm creating my own.
I've got the perfect position for you. Actually, do you know what you could be?
Be the director.
Mm-hmm. You can sit on cams, and the rest of us will go in.
Yep.
And you tell us where everyone is.
But you sit in that seat. You sit in that seat. You sit in that seat. You sit in that seat.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit boring for my fucking, I like doing. I'm a doing person.
Or what you can do as well is you could be the run and gun. So you run in first, you might die first, but then that gives us all the intel we need too.
Okay. No, I don't mind this. Now we're talking about strategy.
Yeah.
I have a Game Boy here. like, just happen to have a Game Boy sitting next to me. It's a black one. It's one of the few that I have. It's got RoboCop in it. Now, have you played RoboCop?
Not
So
in
listen to
years.
this. Listen to this.
It's such a good sound.
It is a pretty good sound. No, I don't want to show you my score during this.
Okay.
But I'm going to have a go and I'll see how I go. Now,
Do you need to focus?
no, but I need to I'm putting it out there. It's like we're on patrol in Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Set the scene.
I'm going to practice streaming.
Yeah.
Here I go.
So
All right.
you also stare into that camera
I can't.
occasionally.
Well, how the fuck can I look at that and this?
Gotta make it work.
So I've got the gun, shooting. So I'm walking around, I've got RoboCop. These guys, they try to sit there and they jump from the side, left and right. You can't see them, but I've worked out that does shoot on an angle and they look pretty bad. Like this guy here. Fuck. See, can you hear that?
Yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah, but you can't. But just imagine. Just pretend you're fucking looking at it, for God's
All
sake.
of my job, just imagine. Do you want me to? I'll come in and I'll be like, hey.
So,
how you doing?
So if I've got someone talking to me this whole time, it would quite frankly be annoying.
Yeah.
But I'm in a bit of a rush. I don't want to ruin it for everyone else. But I'm going to go with one game here, and I'm going to back. Oh, grenade. Yeah. So I'm going to take my word. So what are you talking about? Like I'm talking about me shooting people, which is probably not normal.
So imagine I'm going to be your viewer and you're the streamer right now, right? I'd be like, hey JP, how you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Shut up. I'm concentrating.
You would not make it. I'd be like, all right, see ya. Simp.
So how are you? How are you? Like, what are you up to? What's going on? Did I just shot that guy out of the window? Do you talk about how good you're performing here? Oh, no.
I mean,
What's your chances of you beating this chainsaw guy before me?
I didn't even know there was a chainsaw guy,
Yeah.
so chances are pretty slim at this point.
So, but does it matter how good you are?
No, well, it depends on what you want to be good at.
I can actually do two things at once at the moment.
I don't know about that. But no, it depends on what you want. Like if you want to be, like there are people who socially can't interact at the same time. And then there are also people who are just like really good at the video. Like Shroud, one of the world's best streamers, is absolutely incredible at gaming, right? He is so good. But he also is funny. So he's got the best of both worlds. He could be completely silent for 8 hours of the whole stream, just like JP is right now, right?
I'm trying to beat.
And he would have like 80,000 people watching him.
Fuck.
Because
Shroud's
of that.
got nothing on me.
Because
So
of that
how do
exact reaction.
43 seconds. Don't try and go for time though. 7630. Now, I reckon that's pretty good.
Do you think there's a world record for that though?
Yeah, it's called a platforming. I don't think I've done very well, but I'm happy to see. How long is it since you've been on the Game Boy?
Oh,
Do you know how annoying I am when people are trying to get my attention?
on patrol in Detroit, all right.
Yeah. So how long have you been playing Nintendo for?
Nintendo. Well,
Did you
I
have a
played
good day
PlayStation.
today?
Yeah, actually I
What
did.
else
I
has
did a
happened today?
2-hour stream this morning. I played a little bit of a new game that just came out called Little Nightmares.
So did that scare you?
No, not at all. It's pretty good actually. So the first one was a really, really simple. You remember scroll games?
Yeah.
So the same way that this.
I've played platform games
Yeah.
my whole life.
So
that's all. One
it's
platform.
basically that, but with way, way better graphics. And you're trying to run away from these people who are eating children. So
what was the game that I saw with that giant cock?
the giant cop was Phasmophobia, where we're literally just trying to avoid ghosts.
So is that scary?
Now when you first start to play it, yes. I died. But I don't know if I did better than you.
12-10. It's official. I've got 1 foot in the door.
You've got 1 foot in the door. But did you
1 foot.
see how we were both still engaged? And that's why people come and hang out with me.
I was really trying to do well. Hence why my attention went to where you're like, I don't give a fuck. I'll rather talk.
But people still watch people who do that.
Do you now it does, we've been talking about it a lot. It's been a lot happening here at the Drake's Media Centre. And it has come up that maybe we go into a retro gaming channel. But then I had a look and there's heaps of fucking people doing it.
Yeah. Retro games they
Gay.
also go through ebbs and flows. Like,
But how can I compete? It shows you that I'm 6 times better than you on the Game Boy. First time you've ever looked at it. I've been practicing a fair while to do that.
how many years?
No, let's just say a few months. But it does show that it's really hard to do.
But what you're doing right now with this podcast, you could do on Twitch, right? Like, it's the same core principle of just engaging and hanging out and talking and listening to another person's experience. You just have some background noise, and that's the video game. Or whether it be maybe they want to go on the journey with you. They want to see and experience what you're experiencing at the same time. It's like watching a movie with friends,
Yeah.
Why do we do that? Because it's a shared experience then. It's like emotionally we're connecting as well because we're going through it at the same time. So don't have to be good at games. Although I am a Red Bull athlete for gaming. So
I
good at
think
games.
look, I can tell you're way way underselling how easy it is because it's like professional whatever. And technically you're a professional streamer.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you talk about that, you're talking about the 1% of the population.
For now.
Yeah, but
For now.
But it doesn't matter. If I'm a professional golfer, to get there you need something. A professional basketball player, you need something. It's no different than what you're doing with gaming and streaming. Because what do you call yourself?
I don't know. A meme queen. I'm just a gal being a pal on the internet who happens to be doing it really well. I have a lot of friends. Right, over 200 and something thousand friends.
So with you and your friends, you is it Razer? And Red Bull?
I can't hear you actually. These
Because-
headphones, what are they? Oh, they're not Razer. That's right.
Razer, if you're listening, I am sorry. That's our problem.
I'll see what we can do. Don't you worry. Next time I'm here and we play video games, we're all going to be wearing Naris.
Okay, I'm in.
That's
if
how
you
it
can
is.
do that, I'm in for
We'll
that.
do it.
Please get the Canadians for
You're talking about
Yes. Can we get you some kitty ears?
Sure, I'll do that. I'll do kitty ears. It's esports. Like I watch a bit about. So I've watched a few docos where you see how big esports is overseas, and it's crazy. Like we're talking $1 billion business in gaming, and there's no doubt that gaming is up there with movies, and I think it's now overtaken.
Yep.
And you see stuff like esports, and you're like, oh my god, this is ridiculous, but it's not. It's actually really cool to watch. Like I play a game, Mario Brothers, Smash Brothers on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking game.
But it's epic to watch. There is esports for that.
See, I watch the games on esports and I sit there and I try to relate. I'm pretty good. Need for Speed. I reckon I could go
Good
you on Need for
times. You
Speed.
could
Yeah.
race. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I put the Smash Brothers, there's so many different combinations. It's not like the old school. Let's face it, they came out with Street Fighter. Hey,
Yeah.
fight, right? And then that was a bit boring, so then they came out with Mortal Kombat. And Mortal Kombat, you could destroy, your kill move was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Not only
if
was
you could get it down
Yep.
and at the right time, and if it was when somebody was punching and you just got that 1 millisecond in before they
Yep.
did.
So
Yep.
it's technical.
Strategic.
Where Street Fighter was cartoon,
Yep.
Mortal Kombat went to actually real graphic.
Yes.
So that was the big difference, and it was worlds apart from the Street Fighter. Then Street Fighter was hugely successful. Mortal Kombat came through as bang, amazing, and the kill scenes, holding the skull, holding the spine. We all know it, and that's what I was brought up on. And then we see today. I watched the fighting games today. Hey, COVID, Ollie. Because I've realised when I say COVID, people think I'm talking about something, but I'm talking to Ollie. That game you're playing, that stupid game you're playing, Nintendo,
Hades.
Hades. Oh, good game.
Right.
Oh, good
I
game.
watched that and I'm like, Can't die. You've got to compete every level. What is this?
Are you doing it on permadeath? Is that why? No? Okay.
Oh. So when I watch that, I'm like, oh, that's so far outside my pay rate. So I sit there and I dumb it back. So I watch the games. And what games are they playing at Esport? Is it a mixture of games? Is it certain games? Do you know the game and you can lead up to it, or do they tell you on the day?
No. So some of these people have been playing the same game for years, right? Like, it's like, you know, you might have a football player who also plays tennis. You've got one jungler who's played his whole life. He's played maybe League of Legends, but he also has played some Hearthstone as well. And so that's card games, whereas League of Legends is like, I don't know. Have you ever played League of Legends? No. So it's like you've got different positions. So you've got somebody. Yeah,
I've watched it. That's why I've seen it. It's too complicated. Like you get the force fields, and it's a bit too.
You have to take out everyone's totems.
I've watched it. I'm like, fuck, it's too much for me.
But that's the thing, is it's like the same with a football match. Could you play every single part of a football team? Are you I played soccer, right? Are you a front and centre? Or are you a goalie? Or are you somebody who is on the left or on the right? Like, what is your strength? And that's the same with esports. You just get people who have played these games for years. They know their strengths. They know their position. They get in a good team. Just like that, you can just win. And there's good money involved in winning. And there's also, like, trophies and, you know.
So a good esport person, what sort of money are they looking at making?
I think one of the highest paid esport professionals is probably Ninja. I don't know if those statistics are correct.
Is that a team? Is that a name?
No, that's an individual.
Yeah, Ninja.
He used to play Fortnite professionally.
Whoever that guy or girl or that neutral person is, that's a great name.
Yeah, I think he was probably at one point the highest paid esports professional.
100 grand?
No. We're talking like
10 grand.
No, like in the millions somewhere. Undisclosed millions.
Yeah, okay.
Is like literally what his.
That's that's more than a round of drinks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can get to that level, fucking good on you. Like, to me, and when I watch it, it's huge. And overseas in Japan and the ones I've seen, there's a documentary on somewhere, but it was these guys are rock stars and girls.
Yeah.
But more guys than girls now I look back at it.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, why is this?
Because what happens if your team loses and you have a woman on your team?
Well, you just lost because you lost.
But did you lose because you have a woman on your team?
Is that so? Yeah. So politically, that's what it's like.
A lot of people will blame the losses on female team members, or it's also it's confronting because there isn't a lot of females. So it's like, if I was good enough to go to a point where I could be professional and I could even look past that whole, if we lose or if I make a mistake, that's going to be the focus. You're one of the only females competing, and that's really stressful, and that's really pleasant, because then you're just surrounded by a whole bunch of males who may or may not be friendly, who might be, you know, like there's a lot. Every industry has its problem with sexism. So does esports. So
do you want to play in esports again? Or do you? Or not? Or what do you do? Like, is that an aspiration, or do you leave that to the full-on hardcore?
I don't think I have the patience for it anymore. I could have if I had done it. If I had done it when I was back playing Modern Warfare 3 in high school at about 16, I could have, if I really focused, I could have gone in and I could have competed because I was that good. And we had a team of girls who we used to play with who the boys would pick on and like ban from the servers. So we'd have to make fake accounts and make our own servers and like little bits and pieces to get like, and they would be waiting to play with us. They'd have no idea that it was a bunch of girls. You know, we had code names after the Transformers. I was Bumblebee. One of my other friends was Optimus Prime. Like, it was like a hardcore underground
that's
scene.
So cool, but that's terrible.
That you have to do that in order to be able to play video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same online. So is that why people are neutral, gender neutral?
No, I think that's a whole nother can of worms. That's a discussion.
Can I get into that discussion?
What would you like to know?
VR chat.
Oh no.
Yes, I got to go there. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm just like esports. Yeah, it's good.
But
Get
VR
into it.
chat.
And if you're there, kids, get into it and you can be a millionaire, but you'll be one of few. So if we sit there and go, okay, let's go into the fact that I think there's a gender difference playing games. Like, I understand if you go back a long time and I'm hunting animals and I'm a male and muscular and female not so muscular and the males might be more dominant because that's how it goes. I kind of get that the whole generational, or not generational, it's even more than that. We're hunting and gathering and bringing home, right? I get that. But if you're talking about things like, and I say driving cars, things that there's no muscular strength, which males do in general for 95% of the time have an advantage.
Yeah.
But if there's something that's neutral, like playing games, it's neutral.
Well, it's considered-
Racing a car, it's pretty neutral. But if I'm playing games, and you got to remember the certain combinations, which there's so many. I don't know. You might actually know, but I'm looking at a PS5 over there, and that thing looks like it's got a million combinations out of that controller.
Yeah.
It does. And I've gone from this. It has these 2 buttons, these 4 things, and sometimes you get a sideways. They're my combinations.
Yeah.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, massive way.
So I'm trying to put it as simple as possible.
That there's
If I'm
no
male or
difference.
female, if I'm playing that, what's the difference?
I'm going to call a spade a spade. It's harassment. That's the difference. Have you
Okay.
ever been harassed? I mean, this is a very broad question.
No.
Have
it
you
is.
ever been harassed for playing video games?
Yeah. I have, but not to the level. I've watched your content
But I mean, has
and I can
anyone
see it.
ever said to you, you're a man, you should be in a shed? Right? Because it's the same. You think about that, the flip comment to that is, you're a woman, shouldn't you be cooking?
Yeah.
Right?
And I understand, but surely we're past all that.
Hell no, not yet. This is the thing is like, all of these industries have to change in order for one or two to change, but all of these industries have been very male dominated for a long time because of that whole, well, women are nurturing, empathetic, tiny creatures to be seen and not heard, you know. That's dated from a long time back,
Yep.
you know. So anything that I show interest in, especially in video games, one of the questions I get is, oh, who taught you? Was it your brother? You know? Well, surely it must have been your boyfriend who likes video games. And I'm like, no, I have a brain still, the same that you have a brain. I have interests, I have hobbies. And so those things have sort of diluted any industry where women can feel comfortable, because it's always that, oh, well, there must be a man behind you, or there must be something that, like, maybe you're just doing this to impress your boyfriend, or, like, you know, if you like cars, it's like, oh, do you like cars because you want to marry a driver, or, like, just dumb shit like that. That's like, oh, well, only men can race because it's cool to wear a zip-up jumpsuit. And you're like, I don't care about any of that. I'm just interested in this thing.
It's really, I think I don't look at things like male and female.
Yeah.
And I hate this. Oh, they got to be on the board because they're female, or they got to be on the board. Like, I understand, and hopefully we're as a business working on it. That someone said to me, I said, look, if you're black, white, green, I don't care, male, female, trans, neutral, whatever you want to be, you should get the role because of what you provide. Like, because of how good you are at that role. And it should be that simple. But I had a lady say, no, but I'm not given as many open doors, not her.
Yeah.
Because they're shut down before we get to that stage.
Or the education's not there to begin with for them. Yep.
And I was like, oh, you know what? There's a valid point in that.
Yeah.
And some things are, and I think people need to really understand, are more male orientated and are more female orientated.
Yeah.
But I think they're few. You know, as a
even
male,
then.
I can't have a baby.
Oh, well,
That's right.
if you had a uterus, you could...
That's why I've got a big gut. Right?
If you
It's
had a
not quite the
uterus,
same.
you could have a baby.
Yep.
So I just say people with uteruses can have children, right?
Can.
Because
but not all.
not all people with uteruses can have children either.
Yeah, correct.
You know?
So-
but I like to keep those things like anyone who has a uterus who can have a child can have a child. But what I think is like, why is it weird or why is it girly if you want to sew an item of clothing? Or why is it weird and girly if you suddenly decide that you want to cover a blemish one day, so you put on a little bit of makeup? Those things don't need to be gender exclusive whatsoever. The same as me liking video games, me liking comic books, me wanting to put together a little Pee Wee 50, you know, or build Meccano. Those things might be manly because that's what we've kind of just been told is manly and what we've been allowed to do, you know?
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
But I would have thought we'd come to a stage where it doesn't, like online, it really doesn't matter. In fact, most people don't know if you're male, female, or whatever you are.
Unless they can see your face, like me.
yeah, correct. You can, but not in your VR chat room.
No, not in VR chat. You can be anyone you want to be. You want to be a big... I was going to say...
Where were you going? No, but you're right.
No, I was going to be like, you want to be a big baked potato? You could even be a big baked potato. Like, there is nothing... I've gone in there and I've seen Kermit the Frog with boobs before. Like, anything you want to be, you can be.
So...
Like I said earlier in the podcast, never let your memes be dreams. And in VR chat...
So does that VR chat... First, I'd never seen, like... I didn't know what VR chat was. And do you want to just explain to someone, if they're listening to this, what a VR chat is?
It's like any real life circumstance that you have, except you can choose who you are, and it's in virtual reality. So you have a headset, pop that bad boy on, the rest of the world disappears. However long you're in there, that's your choice. Some people spend weeks in VR chat.
So I'll explain it from how I saw it. People dress up as whatever they want. They can be cats. They can be potatoes. They can be kind of superheroes.
I feel like you ended up in furry VR. By the sounds of it, because you were like, people could be cats. Cats is the first thing I heard. And I was like, ooh.
So they can be anything. And you go around and you talk to people just like you would if you were meeting people at a house party.
Yeah.
Right? Go in the door and there's another room, and then you're talking like normal. I'm assuming they're normal. They're real voices.
No, not all the time.
Right, okay, so there you go. So can be real, can't be real, and they're those people. That's what they do. Do they then go? Amber's here. Oh, let's quickly go. Does they get alerts that Amber's walking around a house party?
Yeah, they'll get notifications that I've come online if we're friends.
So they then go, fuck, let's go. Amber's there. I love Amber. You know,
let's go hang out.
Let's go hang out.
Yeah. And I might be Kermit the Frog with
just like
big
I did
boobs.
when my mates go, yeah, let's catch up for lunch. I'm like, yes, I'm there. So they're like, so I'm there.
It's like a costume party, but without putting a costume on. That's probably the best way to explain it.
So is this the future?
What's going to help you sleep at night? Yes, or just...
I don't think I'm not as hung up on it as when I was watching it. I was a little bit disturbed going, oh, wow. Like I could be anyone in this.
Yep.
And literally I could say anything.
Mm-hmm. No repercussions.
Yeah, I'm not... None. And I'm not as worried as an adult where you have to learn to handle yourself. But I see that as for children. I think, and I wouldn't like to do it, but I think you could manipulate very hard if you were smart enough on people that were less attuned to what was going on to detriment. I don't think you can do that in real life.
No, but again, it just falls back on education. I think that we just have to... I think that there's no avoiding it anymore. Technology is going to go where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's not going backwards.
No, and it's only going to go forward, and it's going to get worse to the point where eventually we might even all just be in VR suits and we live our lives in VR, and, you know, we don't, or it might go the opposite way and robots take over, you know, like Skynet, like Vector could essentially come in here, open the door and kill us all, right? But I think that it just comes down to education, and we have to start, you have to be ahead of the curve. And so how's the best way to stop anything from happening? We'll teach kids young. If somebody is doing this or this in this video game or online, these are the ways that you go about it. You set it, the block button is your best friend.
Yeah.
It's in your power to block somebody. Get rid of them completely. They make another account. Block them. They make another account.
So just block
them.
Yeah.
That is the power that you've been given. But allowing us to like teach our kids that, stand up for yourself. You're in control. Technology doesn't have to be scary then.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great way of looking at it. It's a totally different way than, I was walking down the mall today and I had these scary people come up, cybersecurity for kids. And like, I was like, fuck, I'm not worried about the internet. I'm worried about you, mate. With like a fucking pedophile with legs. And I was like, whoa, hang on. And that to me was where I sat back and went, I don't think the internet's the problem. I think you are. And they were trying to sell some cybersecurity for kids. It sounds a bit harsh, but that's exactly what happened with them. And for me, it's about the educational period.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is exactly right. I don't think everyone has your point of view on it, though.
Because it's hard to imagine that everyone has the power to just shut it off. At the end of the day, I could do this. Turn my phone off. It's not my problem anymore, is it?
So how do you feel about that?
Internet doesn't exist now for me, does it?
Yeah, correct. Nothing.
Right? A lot of people would be like, but it's hard to switch off when everything's so switched on. We can just do it. We have the power to switch off whenever we want, right? Doesn't mean that you're going to be disconnected from everything. You're not going out and living in an Amish community for the next 20 years. You will eventually turn your phone back on, taking breaks, learning how to look out for certain things. It's like internet scammers. We all had to get educated when those Woolworths or what was that?
Gift cards.
Gift card scam that went around, right? And everyone was kind of like, oh, yeah, I want a gift card. It's like,
so
how silly do you have to be? If somebody walked up to you and went, do you want this $100? You'd be like, why? What's in it for you? What do you want? But suddenly online, if someone's like, hey, you want a $100 gift voucher? You're like, yeah, I did nothing for this. I'll take it. It's about educating and understanding what things we should look out for versus just being like, the internet bad, poke it with a stick,
It's such a refreshing way to look at it because that's exactly right. And if someone was doing this to you in real life, how would you react? It's no different than being online.
Yeah, and we just have to make those similarities, connect the dots, and then we can all move forward happily and in harmony.
That's so true. So if we talk about streaming and content and coming up with things, do you think this creates mental health issues when we're talking about what's happening online?
I think mental health is a whole nother thing. It needs to be tackled in different ways too. I think that there's a lot of different social pressures put on the next generation, a lot to do with appearance, right? And that has a lot to do with mental health nowadays. If I'm not physically enough, my mental health suffers because everything's like Instagram, hottest clothing, trends, but I feel like it's just more so, I think we should have mental health in school as a lesson, not just like go speak to your school counsellor if you're feeling sad. Like, it's more so like, how do I regulate my emotions? How do I calm myself down if I'm feeling this way? How do I stop thinking this way? I think that needs a whole revamp in itself.
Yeah.
And needs to be added as a specific part of curriculum, not just like we'll be here if you want to talk. It's like, okay, but how do I talk?
Yeah.
Tell me how I can comfortably communicate what I'm feeling. I don't even know what it is yet. That's what you need. And then moving forward, you won't have as many issues with like, when you get into that stage where you're so impressionable, somebody would be like, kill yourself. And you think, enough people tell me that, I'm worthless, maybe I'll just do what they say. Whereas if you're like taught how to regulate your emotions and understand and where these things come from, hurt people, and certain things like that, you start to put it in a different perspective of like, well, their words have no power unless I give them power.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
do you see something like with youth? Do you see what you're saying? Do you see anyone else talking like that?
More and more, yeah. I see a lot of people I do see people slightly agreeing, but it's hard because when the system's been there for so long and you have generations who have had it worse in that system And
Yeah.
now the system's slightly changed a little bit in favour of still the education system. You get a generation that feels like they had it harder. So why should you get it any better? Why should you have all these things? We did it and look at how well we turned out, right? Then you also get, oh, well, how do you fund something like that? Well, you can't just disrupt it's like nobody wants to just change it. They want to find excuses why they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Let's just move forward and change it. Things take time and you have to do these things slowly, but eventually you'll get to a point where you'll look back and be like, oh, glad we did that, right? You know, like...
It's refreshing to hear. I mean, you're almost half my age, just for the record. So to actually hear from a different point of view, I hear it from Ollie's point of view, and I think I'm pretty transient and like adapting quite quickly.
Yeah.
And I do see how there is a barrier there with how people think and, fucking you should be working.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's really about finding things that you enjoy, you love, you do. You've been very clear on how you've said that. Do you do any work with anyone else to help people out in this situation, like other than what you do online? Do you if you ever thought about, I should be speaking to children that are at school and letting them know that, hey, you need to handle yourselves online just like you do in the real world. The real world's it's not a fair world out there. It's not easy, and life's not easy. And being how you handle yourself in real life is exactly the same with how you handle yourself online. Have you thought about that? Or, I mean, you speak amazing about it. I think it's something, do what you want, but it's something that I think many people need to learn about what's going on online.
But I feel like I'm still learning myself and I have a few years to...
to figure it out.
Yeah, and to make sure I'm not saying anything that's wrong, because what's right now might not be right in 5 years' time. And I also have to not get stuck and be rigid, and like I need to be able to keep my fluid opinion of technology and like cyberbullying or where it is super fluid, because it's going to change as technology changes.
Yeah.
There will be new ways to bully people online. There'll be new ways to hurt somebody or to, you know, like, so I don't also want to become one of those people that get stuck in like well, this is the way I did it and it worked for me, so we should all do the same. Like, and I think I'd need to get a lot more life experience behind me in order to be able to talk about it, you know?
It's a very, it's not going to sound good, a very aged head you have on you to be able to explain it like that. And there's many people that wouldn't explain it as eloquent as that. It's so true. So I credit to you. Awards. Yeah. Nominated for the Women's of the Year award for the, I think it's the Advertised Women's of the Year Award 2019.
Women of the Year, yep.
Nominated for the Global Joystick Awards in 2019.
Yep, that's video games.
So how many females have been nominated for those?
I think the, I don't know how
Well, I'm
long...
assuming the Women's Award, or do they have like a fluid, neutral, whatever award?
I'm not sure actually what they will do moving
Well-
forward. They might do something like that.
Oh,
I think
come on.
There'll be
Come on.
industries that
You're
don't want to
born
change.
this and that, no? You can change when you make your mind up, but at some stage... Yeah, how much will you talk about it? Because it's true.
I think as long as everyone's included, it shouldn't matter.
Okay. Now, that is the response I would expect, because I agree. Because it's you either just have an award, but you don't segregate between male, female, whatever else you want to call yourself. And to quite frankly, I don't care what you call yourselves. It's about, but when you have things like this, I mean, that's very woman's award.
I don't know
Man,
how long the
they don't have a
advertisers-
man's award, do they?
Your award is every day though, isn't it?
Oh, you know, there's no doubt the males are the dominant species. There's no doubt.
But why?
Just through generational, but it's changing.
Did you know that men were actually the first to eat the poison berries?
I would.
Did you know that the women used to go out picking berries,
For the
poisonous
men.
berries? No.
To kill the
Just
man?
berries, and would be like, men, eat berry, right?
To
because
kill
they
him?
didn't care if they died first, and then they'd avoid that berry. So who's the smartest species here if we're going to get down to it, you know?
It's no different than the person that eats the food before the prince or prince.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think people need to understand that, hey, we're all on the planet together as long as we're making it a better place. And
That's exactly right.
and
Like I said, it's hateful, harmful, or hurtful.
Yeah.
Avoid it.
but we're getting there, but it's very slow. And
Yeah.
yes, the males are dominant and they are, but it's changing.
Yes. Yes.
And I think everyone's realizing it, even Ollie. And
Don't
I
let us down, Ollie. You're the next generation, all right?
so ignorance is not bliss. Like it's ignorance.
We're doomed.
Yeah, you're doomed. Ignorance isn't bliss. It's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And I think people are more understanding with how that's coming together. Okay, Twitch versus YouTube. Is this a loaded quote? Like, what? You're looking at me funny.
I love my home at Twitch.
Okay, this is a platform battle, is it?
It is a bit of a platform battle, actually.
Okay, because you
But-
know YouTube are going to push pretty hard.
Yeah, look, I think, but they're not there yet.
No,
They're just not there yet.
But they will.
But it's the same as. Should have worn my Twitch jumper here. Then it would be like.
No, it's good. I'm happy.
No, no.
We can cut stuff out.
No, not at all. I just don't think. I think I like both platforms. I love both platforms. Twitch is my home. That's where my career started, and I will always want the best for them and for me on Twitch while I'm on Twitch. But who knows? The future is full of many things.
You know, you've got to go where the place that supports you the most.
That's exactly right.
And, you know, Mr. Beast will do a lot for gaming for YouTube.
Yes. Mr. Beast is incredible, though.
Mate, the guy's a freak. We
Jimmy,
love him.
he's great.
Love him. Have you met him?
I've spoken to him once before.
So we talk about the platform. We've banged on about cyberbullying. I'd like to talk about that a lot. That's a segment on its own that would be interesting to talk about. I'd love to have cutaways of stuff that's happened to you. But I'll move on for that because of time. Like, not that I'm bothered by time.
Just get me back for a part 2.
Yeah, so I
We'll
could
run
do
on
that.
go-kart.
So Twitch is valued at around $15 million. Mm-hmm. YouTube's valued at around $170 billion.
Yep.
And I know one thing in life. The person with the most money generally wins. And it's a sad state of affairs when I say that.
Yes and no, because YouTube has so many flaws with its gaming side still.
Yeah, but they'll just buy Twitch.
No.
owns Twitch.
Amazon owns
Okay,
Twitch.
so Amazon. So another conglomerate of ownership.
Yeah. But then you think Google owns YouTube, right? So if we start going right up to these parent
That's
companies,
what happens. And eventually we'll be owned by 4 companies.
who knows?
Amazon, Google,
Yep.
Facebook,
Yep.
and there'll be one other. It won't be Twitch.
I'd love to see Yahoo make a return.
Disney.
Disney.
Yeah, true, actually.
That's it. And these 4 companies will control every single thing that happens. And it's frightening.
Online. I'm not so scared of it, though. You know?
It's interesting. It's a lot of power for such a small amount of... It's a lot of power.
It is a lot of power, right? But
And
it's,
they're powerful. They're not just like... Apple's sitting on $100 billion of cash.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone needs $1 billion anyway, so that's a whole nother conversation. Because I'm like, eat the rich, but when I say eat the rich, I don't mean people who have made like a decent living for themselves. I mean like nobody needs $1 billion. It's literally insane to have $1 billion.
Sorry, Apple was my 4th company. They're the 4th. They're it.
Do you know how much money you would have to spend every day to spend $1 billion?
No, but can someone work it out for me? See if
Google
I
it.
could-
It's a disgusting amount of money,
So
and
I'm
you
actually
still wouldn't be able to.
Surprise to everyone. I'm very frugal with spending money, but if it was there, like you would.
2.7 million
What?
per day.
You would have to
2.7
spend-
million?
Go through $1 billion.
Billion or million?
$1 billion.
Yeah, well, that's a few.
If you
boats
but if
and,
you had
know.
$1 billion, you'd have to spend $2.7 million a day in an average lifetime.
That's a Bugatti Veyron. Yeah, that would go pretty. I could get each different
do you
colour.
understand how much that money that is?
Trust me, if anyone understands how much spending that is, It's me.
We should get Mr. Beast involved, and he'll make like a pool of Orbeez.
Because he gives it away. All
He
of
does.
it.
He gives away a lot of money.
Right. And that's the right thing to do, to
Yeah.
give it away. But, you eventually run out. But these guys aren't looking to, sell things. So if you're talking about, they're big and they control a lot. And that's why Twitch
It's a lot of influence.
That's why Twitch, I'm going to say it. At what stage does, I'm surprised it's only valued at 15 million, just for the record. But at what
It's still a baby.
It's 15 billion.
billion is it? Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
it's still a baby. Twitch is in its
What's
infancy.
been around for? How long's Twitch been around for?
10 years, but before that it was Justin TV.
So that's a fair bit. Is there anyone else that's coming up into that market?
There was Mixer, and Twitch and YouTube put them out of business. So this is what I'm saying. I think what you're going to find is YouTube will eventually, unless they really implement the things that they need to in order to make the gaming side almost identical to Twitch's interface, which they can't because Twitch's interface is patented by Twitch, right? It's just not going to have the same punch. YouTube will always be around because of what they do, which is great VOD content, which is a video on demand.
Yeah, no
You can watch
doubt.
it anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter what part. And there's nothing that you're going to miss. You don't feel FOMO if you don't watch a VOD, like a live
No, you
stream,
can get
or
it.
you just get it where you get it. And that's what people know YouTube for. It's the same with Twitch is live streaming. It has been, it always will be.
Yeah.
Twitch just needs to refine itself more to make itself almost as... It's right now, it's like an angsty teen. We just have to grow up a little bit, mature a little bit more, so that everyone else takes us seriously. We have the right mentality and the right attitude for like sharing our communities with the world and all of that sort of stuff. But like the DMCA, we're still going through out like the arguments with that and small things. So once we work out those things and we finally get ourselves like presentable,
Yeah.
it's going to take off.
Do they look after you more than YouTube?
Yeah, of course. Because I'm partnered with Twitch.
So can you partner with YouTube as well?
No. Exclusive contracts.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Fair enough. It's just a question.
I'm not
If-
ashamed of that. I'm
If
embarrassed.
YouTube came back to you with a lot of money, would that change your mind? Or it doesn't have the functionality you're looking for?
Depends on the price.
Yeah. I mean, that's a reasonable answer. If you'd said no, I would have said you're lying. So you answered that quite...
But I would also give Twitch the opportunity to counter.
Yeah, and that's the advantage you have when you have people following you, right? You don't have that advantage if you're me setting up JP's Game Boy gaming. Sounds good, actually. Has anyone got Game Boy gaming?
Game Boy
It'd
Gaming.
be fucking boring. It'd be fucking... Check it out. Someone look it up. So I've been told I got to wind it up, which is annoying me. It actually pisses me off when I get these messages. But I've got these questions that come to the end.
Do you know what we should do? We should do driving, and we could do it fast track interview. How we just finish the rest of our conversation in the car.
Done. You don't have to twist my arm to get that. I with all of our guests that are crazy enough to come on here, and I thank you for coming.
No,
this is
thank you.
This is Mrs. Hootway here to thank for this one. But wrap up questions. We ask these of everyone. These are hard hitting. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing? Well, let's say, and I have to put it into perspective, there's no money restraint. You can do whatever you want. You can be wherever you want in the world, and you can do whatever you want. And it can't be what you're fucking doing. That'll just bore everyone.
I'd be writing science fiction.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Be writing books.
So do you watch Star Trek, or is that too...
Yeah, I grew up with that.
Yeah, okay. I grew up with Jetsons.
George Jetson.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I got a lot from it.
He was pretty good looking
I never
too.
never watched Star Trek.
What?
I like watching stuff that's futuristic, like Time with Justin Timberlake.
Wasn't a fan of Star Trek though.
No, the ears did it. They put me off.
Really?
Yeah, the fucking pointy ears.
Yeah,
You got a thing with feet? I think I got a thing with ears.
with ears.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay,
So what
so-
you're saying is do not ask you for a photo of your ears afterwards because then you'll report me to HR. Get her out.
Mate, if someone went to HR for me, they'd be... Yeah, I actually don't know what would happen. But I think that... I don't know what would happen. What do you wish you had known... What do you wish, like, if we go forward, I mean, you're so young, like, when you're talking about if you were 16 and you go to where you are now, what do you wish you'd know now when you'd first started? But if you first started, what would help you now? Like, you know, you've been in gaming for a few years now, 4 years. What do you wish you'd known at the start that you could help someone?
That anything can be a career as long as you're dedicated to making it a career. Anything in the world can be a career as long as you make it. Like, that's literally it. I know people will be like, but it's hard. Doesn't matter. If you love it, anything, I could make a job out of cutting watermelons, right? Even if I wanted to, that could be my job. I could make art, you know? That could be anything that you want to make a career out of, you can. That would be my advice.
So good.
Pretty good advice, right?
We had Vans the Omega just recently, and he talked about chopping his kids' food up. Like, he's got young kids, and he talked about making the lines of the food, and what you said was
making them arty.
Yeah, full on.
Anything
And
you
he
want to
sees, he says he walks around and everything. He walked out of here, and we've got those two water like the water towers.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I looked at him and went, "You're thinking about it?" He goes, "Mate, as soon as I see a blank wall, I think of what I can put there."
Yep.
So good. Imagine getting all of the people we've podcasted in for one podcast.
Be a very loud podcast.
I'd have to put aside. Well, I didn't hear that. I'm lucky I've got my headphones on. It's for a reason.
Selective hearing. You ignored that on purpose.
So if there was one thing that you could do that would impact the world, what would that be? Big one.
It's a massive one.
Yeah, I mean,
And a controversial one. I would give animals the rights to their own body. Because you do that, and then the whole world has to go vegan. That's what I do. See, it's a loophole. Work smarter, not harder, right? Then we have to get involved. We have to start making lab-grown meats, right? No more dairy. Almond milk.
All right, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
And that's the way
But you asked me if I could do one thing, what would I do?
Hey.
Give
No
animals
judging.
the rights to their own
No
body.
judging. We have spoken about numerous lab grown, and the price has come down dramatically. There's a company in Brisbane that actually is doing some lab grown meat right here in Australia.
Yep.
Still a little bit expensive, but it's coming. In fact, it'd be really good to get them to have a chat because we've talked to multiple.
Perfect segue into your next episode.
Yeah, it is.
All about.
No, next on it. But if we talk about how. Okay, that's great. I was going to talk about how much food is needed to produce, and you know, and if everyone went vegan, there wouldn't be enough vegetables on the planet. It's fair to say. That's true, and that's a fact.
Technically, what you're saying I get, but you are statistically, factually wrong because the amount of grain that we grow to feed livestock could actually feed the entire world twice. And that's statistically...
Look, I won't say something I actually don't know the answer to.
Science?
I'll let you go with this.
Science is a whole nother thing.
I'll let you go with this because I don't have the answer, but I do know how much it takes to produce like a kilo of beef and a kilo, and it's a lot, right? And it's huge. And if everyone just wanted to eat vegetables and go vegan, it would be extremely, I think it'd put a massive strain on the planet. Yeah, massive. I don't think there'd be enough.
Cow farts, come on. Come on.
All right, but I have one more question, and this question, it's you know what people come on the show for.
Okay. I'm preparing myself.
And most people don't get to the end, so it's really good because I get to hear all the answers. So do these two. Ollie loves it. I actually haven't asked Ollie what his answer
Ollie's
is.
favourite.
But if you died and came back to this planet or the universe as a particular board game, what would that board game be? And I feel like just because it's you, I should say game, but if you can give me two answers, I'd be fine. Like a game might come back to you really quickly, but a board game might be a bit more difficult. But you know,
Cluedo.
What was it?
Cluedo.
Okay, it's your first one to have Cluedo.
Because I'm a shady bitch. You never know who's done it. That's what I do. Cluedo. Who was it? Nobody knows.
That is so good. And you really, that's one of the quickest. Is that the quickest?
I reckon about second quickest.
Yeah. So
We
who?
gotta start setting up a speed run.
Huh?
We gotta set up a speed run.
Yeah, I think we need
Yeah.
to, that was unbelievably fast.
Cluedo.
Okay. And I would take that on board, and I don't even need to explain anything else. There you have it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's
Over
been
2
great fun.
hours with Amber, and we didn't even get to play a whole lot of games, which these guys are not happy about, but the TV fucked up. COVID screwed it.
Yeah,
But-
blame it on COVID. Damn COVID.
But the moral of the story is thank you. So much information there, talking about things that a lot of people in this country don't even realise you can do. Moral of the story is just follow and do what you love.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, though. It was great to hear even your thoughts about some things, especially the industry that I'm in, that you have a general understanding, because that means that the gap is bridging, you know?
Yeah, it
we're
is.
coming
Because
to middle grounds.
It's a real thing, and I understand it, and I try to be that medium to get your opinions out there and express what you're actually doing so the rest of the world can understand.
And South Australia, which is important.
Well, we had to talk about South Australia today, but homegrown, local South
Homegrown
Australia.
local, yeah. Homegrown local produce. Buy
Yeah,
the drinks.
yeah, you just can't eat it. Is that right or wrong? I don't know if that sounded right.
Technically, we're gonna avoid that.
Yeah, okay. It's okay.
That sentence.
Lock
it away.
As I say to my girls at the end of every good book, the end.
The end.